What's up, everybody? This is Mamiya Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up? What's good people? What's going on? Back again. Now, some of you probably already know that the show that I did yesterday got yanked off the air right when I was on the air. So I'm going to be making that one available on my Patreon. Or I'm going to put it on FS Avenger. I'll be dropping that in the community tab if I put it on FS Avenger. So we'll go from there. We'll see that. We'll see how that goes. But we got a good show today. Got special guest Zero. You can see Ty City already put right there. His hashtag Zero was right. So yeah, we got Zero coming in. I sent him the email for the link. He hasn't responded yet, but Zero will be coming in. We'll be talking feminism. That's an area where he does have some expertise. He's done his research, and we want to chop it up about that and get to breaking it down, talking about all the nuts and bolts of that. That's something that I don't put a focus on, and everybody in the Black manosphere tends to touch on feminism, but there's nobody who really specializes in it and really goes all the way in on it. So this should be interesting. This should be interesting. He has a video. My bad on that. That was loud as hell. God damn, that was loud. But yeah, he has a video on his channel where he was breaking it down more or less. And yeah, so I wanna dig into that. So that's what we're going to be doing later on today as the show gets going. Hopefully, as people come on and file on in here, Zero will file on in here himself. But my yesterday's show, for those of you that saw it, it was a good show. I was responding to the video that's been going around on the YouTube channel for Fox Soul, where they basically have a lot of women talking and a lot of yes men talking. And so the women were talking and were saying the things that they say when they're saying what they're saying. And I was responding to it, and right in mid-show, I noticed my views, it went from like 130 people to 0 people. No pun intended, with Zero being the guest today. But it went from about 130 to 0, just instantly, just dropped right down. Boom. And so it basically just got yanked off the air. It got deleted. I got a message. I didn't get a copyright strike against my account. However, what I did, they just basically said I violated the YouTube rules. But I've seen a lot of people go after that video and break down what was wrong with everything that Lisa Ray, Vivica Fox, Selena Johnson, and the chick I knew the least was Claudia Jordan. I really don't know who the hell she is. But yeah, that video got yanked off the air. I don't know why mine got yanked and other people's didn't get yanked. Because I saw people after me doing videos on that, and theirs didn't get yanked or taken off the air. So it's an interesting dynamic, interesting thing we got going on there, but that's no big deal. That's borderline to be expected. If you spend too much time airing somebody else's shit, they're probably going to take it down. Probably. Caesar D says Claudia Jordan is a model. I wouldn't know. Oh, and while I'm at it, let me go ahead and we got enough in here. Shout out the early bird squad, as I call it. Everybody make it in bright and early with the early comments. Stoic 1 J3 says, how about that? In Obsidian voice. Big JT 601. Ayo in the building says, what's up, everybody? Luke Jarvis, salute to you. Good morning. Ayo says he knew that was going to happen. Why you ain't tell me then, man? Damn. I'm just playing. Paul G in the building. Caesar D once again acknowledged him already. Sugar G says good morning, Bernard, and everyone joining the Grown Man Hour. DJ Moss, formerly known as DJ Mossy Phil, says what's good, Bernard fam. D. Anderson says peace to all brethren and sisterin. And my man Black Wolf Inc. hit us with a super chat coming right out the gate with it. I like that. I appreciate that, brother. He says feminism did ruin society, but feminism was a result of a World War II. Interesting. I'm going to put a pin in that one when Zero come up. I'm going to ask him, what do you think about that? It was only until now that it was revealing itself as a false ideology, thanks to the Me Too movement and the sexual revolution. Thank you very much for your comment and your super chat. Appreciate that. Omega Dread says yes to the title. Yes. David Monroe says, yo, cheese game. Y'all got to explain cheese game to me. I did see a quick, I think it was on Zero's channel, where I saw Marco put some cheese on a chick head, or he hit her in the head, tapped her in the head playfully with some cheese. I want to start no rumors, but he like tapped her in the head playfully with some cheese. And I heard people say cheese game. What the fuck is that? I got to explain cheese game to me. I be missing stuff. I be late to the party. I don't be knowing, like, new terms be getting created, and I be the last one to hear it. So I don't be knowing what's going on. Y'all got to explain cheese game. He said cheese gate. David Monroe says breathing is game. Breathing. That was an interesting discussion. I think Ty City was the one that started it, whether or not, he said he don't believe in game. It's just good social skills. I think that could be a semantic thing. The area where I do agree with them, and what I've always said, and I kind of said this when I did my one-on-one with ARC, there's aspects of the game that's teachable. Like, I feel like a dating coach can give somebody good do's and don'ts. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Don't say this, don't say that. Say this and say this, do this and do that. But as far as just that natural raw game, that ability that could just, like, a lot of it comes down, it's either in you or it's not. Your ability to think on your feet. Because you never know what goofy shit that a woman is going to say. She can say anything. All right. You could go to talking to her. You could be, be cool, cool, calm, collected, saying the right things. And then she just say some off the wall, weird shit. Your ability to just be quick witted and break down, penetrate her barriers, her wall she got up, and make her smile and make her laugh and make her comfortable and all of that. That's in you. You almost can't. A dating coach can't teach that. And I can't remember if ARC agreed with me that it's hard for a dating coach to teach a guy how to think on his feet. The example I gave was, I remember when Lucario was the first dating coach I ever saw in these spaces. Yep, David Monroe. Pimping ain't on you, it's in you. You can't learn pimp game. I don't think. That's you born with that. You born with it. If you got the ability to talk a woman into that kind of shit, you just born with the ability to sell fire and hell. You born with the ability to sell ice to Eskimos. You just got it. Now, what I will say, as far as the thinking on your feet thing, that's something you either got or you don't. The example that I gave is something I saw on Lucario. This was some years ago, because this was my first time ever. Lucario was the first dating coach that I ever encountered. I didn't know what a dating coach was. I was typing in some shit on YouTube and just found a Lucario video and was like, oh, okay, let me check this out. Okay, this dude kind of, he's saying some interesting shit, so I was listening to him. And what happened was one of his callers or, somebody, I think they had called in live and I asked him a question and was like, what do you do when women just do something just so off script and unexpected? He was like, I was talking to this girl for 5 minutes and we was having a great conversation. And when we was having a conversation, it was just a naturally flowing conversation to the point where I hadn't even asked her what's her name. We were kind of vibing. So I just went with the vibe. And then when he said, I finally got around to ask her. And so when he said, I finally asked her what's her name. So he's like, hey, so yeah, what's your name? And then he just said, and then she said, well, why do you need to know my name? Well, why do you want to know my name? She basically, after having a good laugh and joking conversation with him, she started trying to blow him off. And he said he was just dead and done in his tracks. And a lot of dudes would. A chick would be like, you don't need to know my name. Why do you need to know my name? And she basically did a response that I know I would have been tripped up by that back when I was, first getting out there after my marriage. I was like, I just wanted that. But, a lot of dudes will respond with that. Well, Lucario was like, you should have just looked her right in her eyes and said, I want to need to know your name because I normally like to know the name of a woman before I have sex with her. That was some quick-witted, sharp, might have offended her, might have rubbed her the wrong way, but probably would have made her laugh and probably would have made her look at you as a really confident, on point, quick with the conversation dude. And he would have just rolled right by her, objection with that one. To be able to quick-witted respond like that, you really know how to think on your feet. And that's something that I think dating coaches can't really teach. That guy that just quick-witted, that's just sharp, that's just, no matter what a chick say, he has a response to it. And that's something that's a hard to teach thing. That's a really hard to teach thing. But dating coaches can lay out do's and don'ts of the game, so to speak. They can lay out the do's and don'ts. Don't be over texting. Don't want to over text. You don't want to spend too much time around a chick. I think ARC calls it fun clubbing. Other people call it different stuff where it's just like her little fun guy she talked to when she bored and all of that. Get to the point. They can teach you stuff like that. And that's one thing that I give ARC credit for. He do have a laid out almost like a structured type of situation. Now, if a dating coach, if a dating coach has it set up in a structured way, I can say, okay, he's given, proper do's and don'ts. But that, oh man, you just got to have the game, man. You got to have the right energy. Somebody said it's like a midichlorian count they talking about. Like they basically talk about, I'm about to botch the definition of the force, but it's something like the force is the ability to. Okay, damn it! I've watched enough Star Wars. I should be able to give the exact definition of the force, but they damn near be saying use the force when they're saying you got to have the right vibe, the right energy, man. That masculine energy, your bottom line, man, the bottom of who you are as a man. It's almost like. The force, the force is like an invisible energy field that allows you to move and or manipulate the physical world and or those and or people or beings within it. That's a good definition of the force. And that's essentially what they're saying when they're saying you got to just have the right energy, the right vibe, the right this, the right that. They're basically saying use the force. And that's where I'm like, that's where I agree with everybody that's been saying that game is bullshit. So that's where I can agree. But with that said, somebody, I believe that was my man David Monroe, who's going to come up here if Zero don't come up here. Because me and David Monroe going to talk about feminism if I don't get Zero up here pretty soon. If he's down for it. But David Monroe just sent a $10 cash app, said, fuck feminism, let it burn. DJ Kuda in the building. Hey, y'all know Zero. That's y'all boy. Y'all know y'all got his number. Text him for me. Top City, you listening? DJ Kuda. Zero, y'all man, going and text him. Let him get his ass up here. We confirmed on Monday that we was going to do this Wednesday. So, and we haven't spoken since then. I probably should have talked to him Tuesday night to just get a second confirmation. But as of right now, he hasn't responded to the email and he's not up here. So we should see. But once again, David Monroe, thanks for that cash app. I appreciate that. And other people who's listening, let me pull up the stream on YouTube to see where we at on the likes. We got 81. Hey, I got ads playing on this bad boy. When you click on this, you got to see an ad. I like that. Get a little AdSense. Gotta mind my language now. But yeah, we got 83 people watching, 34 likes, and let me speak to myself when I say like the video, because I haven't even liked it. So there, I just liked it. Leading by example by liking the video. And get GA boy his wrench back. until he go to showing out again. Salute to GA boy. It says, fellas, we agree today. Guys. I don't fuck with feminism at all. It's toxic in men and women relations. And David Monroe says he can't come up yet. DJ Kuda says, yeah, I just got off an 8-hour stream. I haven't seen him over there. Well, I mean, if I gotta reschedule with Zero and then just piece together a show, that's fine. I mean, I've done that before. I had David Monroe and the General set up to debate. I don't know if it was UBI or Universal Healthcare or something. And General didn't show up. I think that was when the coronavirus was just starting to take off, just starting to, really be a thing. So I think he was on duty. He had to go do something and he wasn't able to make it in for the debate. And we just winged it and had a great show. So I'm not that worried if for whatever reason Zero can't make it, but we'll make something out of this one way or another. Jay Boy says there's nothing wrong with women being just with a woman. Man, y'all be throwing me off, man. Not that I'm just the best reader in the world or the critic of how people type, but I think what you were trying to say is there is nothing wrong with a woman with the A being just a woman. You put women with a women being just a woman. And when I read that, I be up here sounding like I can't read because the sentence is put together in an ill-advised way. Get it right. I'm fucking with you. When I say there's nothing wrong with the woman being just a woman, y'all don't have to do men shit. Damn. Right on, I hear that. He said I was a C student. No, you was talking cash shit that day about how you had your masters. You got your master's. You got your master's degree. But you know how it do be like that where some people, you know, well, put it like this. It's a such thing as a doctor that was a C student. And the old saying is that you don't want to know what you call the guy who graduates at the bottom of his class in medical school? Doctor. You call him doctor. So it's almost like for some people, in some instances, you could be that D- student. You crossed that finish line, you passed. It was an epic episode of The Simpsons that changed my life and fucked up a whole generation of kids, where Bart Simpson failed a history test, and he's crying because he was gonna get held back in the third grade. So he's sitting there at the desk crying, and the teacher is trying to console him. And when he was talking about his failure, he said, "This is exactly like how such and such," and he made a reference to something in history, and it was an accurate reference. And the reference that he made was technically one of the answers to the test. So the teacher, you know, generously went on and changed his answer, and then he passed. He got a D-, or he went from a F, a failing grade, to a D-. And then Bart Simpson was running around. He like got excited. He was like, "Yes, I got a D-. I passed. I got a D-. I passed." He was just running through the streets, just telling everybody in town, "I got a D-. I passed." And then all the kids got back to school the next day. Before we sat down and we just looked at each other. We was like, "Hey, did y'all know a D- was passing?" Like that fucked our head up. Because it's like going forward, no matter what we did, no matter what grade we got, if it wasn't an F, we was like, we passed. You can't tell us nothing. We got a D. I passed. I got a C-. I passed. C+, pass. D, pass. D-, pass. If it didn't say F, we passed. That was our philosophy. And I might have been in the third or fourth grade then too when that episode happened. That was our philosophy for a long time. Like that messed me up to at least middle school. At least middle school. I was like, I got a D-, I passed. Obsidian been dropping the pre-recorded podcast on us. I've been loving those. Y'all make sure y'all go check those out if you haven't been doing it already. If Zero don't come up, I'm gonna drop that link for the old man, and we're gonna chop it up and talk about something, because all the pre-recorded podcasts he didn't put on wax for us. Sure, he got plenty he want to elaborate and expand on, and he been making the rounds on a few panels. I saw a small bit of when he was on Reg the Bad Guy going back and forth with Mela. I saw the breakdown, disingenuous perspective. I mean, a woman's perspective, and they was talking about the real problem with short men, and I saw when Obsidian got up there when he was on Reg, that was kind of the topic. It's a few different topics me and Obsidian could bounce off the wall and piece the show together. But hold on. See, there I go, not paying attention to the chat. O'Shea Duke Jackson just sent some Ugandan shillings. I believe that is, I'm not even going to do it. I know how to calculate it now. I think that's about $2. I think. Oh shit, he double backed. So there's see, I'm missing all kind of shit. 2.0 generation, we are the 2.0 generation, we are the kings of the pre-records. Yeah, y'all are. That was all y'all had at one point. That was all y'all had. And I think I started listening right before live streams. Probably like live streams. I think live streams started in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Like I started listening in the beginning of 2018, probably the very end of 2017. So I was big into listening to all the live streams, and that was how I got into all of this. Listening to Obsidian's pre-recorded podcast when he used to leave them up and they used to sit there forever. So I was able, if I started listening early 2018, I was able to go back and listen to all his stuff. He broke down the whole history of the Black manosphere from his perspective. I will add that in there, from his perspective. And that's how I found out who everybody else was. Every time he would drop somebody's name, I would go look them up and subscribe to them. So that's how I got fully ingratiated into the culture, so to speak. Caesar D1 with the $9.99 super chat says 10 people will have different meanings for a game. Woo, very true. So I guess it's more art versus science. Zero and Platinum Elite represents two ends of the spectrum in the Black manosphere. I do hear you on that. I do hear you on that. Thank you very much for the super chats. Caesar D1, always supporting. Thank you, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Now, O'Shea, I don't know if you know, but I'm going to end up just giving all that money back to you, just so you know. That's all that money, all that money. I appreciate it. But it's going to end up getting sent right back to you. I'm gonna hit you. Have to hit you with a Cash App or a big super chat when you're on the air. But all right, that's 30 minutes of me ad-libbing and filibustering, waiting on Zero to show up. So I'm gonna soldier on forward, gonna onward Christian soldier this thing. And if the old man's still listening, he could come on up, because I know he's never short of things to talk about. And we'll probably change the title and reschedule this thing with Zero. I think somebody said he was on somebody. Was he on Kuda's third shift for 8 hours and then probably passed out on me? He said they stressed him out yesterday. I was going to give Zero a no stress interview. I was bringing him on as an expert for as far as feminism, where all I was going to do is just ask him questions and maybe give 5%, maybe 10% pushback, just to probe, just to set up his talking points or get him to dig deeper. I was going to give him more of an O'Shea Duke Jackson type interview. So I wasn't going to stress him out. He wasn't going to get stressed until the panel came and a bunch of niggerdom ensued. All right, there go the link in the chat for anybody. Well, let me salute Abdullah Jones. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. That link is back in the chat. Says Aussie male model proves nobody's more delusional than Black women. Almost would like you to come up and talk about that, but I'd rather save that for the for when I actually go watch it, and then maybe later we can expand on that, because I don't want you to spoil it for people that's going to go watch it in its entirety. But if you want to come up and go over any of the previous things that you've put on the table, oh man, you can come on up and do that. If not, we're going to open panel this thing. But I know Obsidian is always sitting on an opening diatribe that he could just go in on. So I'm gonna see if he want to do that. If not, we about to wing this thing. And I'm gonna email you. Yeah, Brandon L. I think you're right. Okay, Obsidian said, yep, he's coming up. Stand by. Okay, cool. Brandon L., I think you're right. I think Zero went to sleep on me. Question to the audience. Did y'all have to watch a commercial before y'all came in today? I mean, before y'all after y'all clicked on the video, did y'all have to watch a commercial? That's a new thing for me. You got to go, like when you set up the video, you got to go into the settings and okay, somebody said, okay, I got 2 yeses. When you set up the video, you got to actually go in and make it monetize. Now they probably got it in yellow to where some of y'all will see it, some of y'all will get a commercial, some of y'all won't. I actually got a commercial when I came in. So yeah, I'm seeing yeses and nos. And I don't even know. I really don't know how I mean, I've kind of ran the numbers on it myself just to see, but I really don't know how much the AdSense is going to help as far as money that can be made. Well, you know, I think you got to really put up some good numbers to really make some serious money off them ads. So I'm not that much worried about that, but every little bit counts. So I'm gonna see how that go. But I do feel like that puts you in a situation where, you know, you feel like they watching me now. They're playing ads now. They watching me. D. Anderson, you all bougie with your Google Premium. I don't watch ads anymore. I have Google Premium. You peasants and mere mortals listening to commercials. Hit your bougie ass up. I have Google Premium. Shit, I'm fucking with you. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Tie City bougie too. You too bougie to watch them commercials. I have premium YouTube because I'm not basic and cheap. Oh man. Let me check out these likes one more again. 107 watching, 56 likes. Let's get that up. Oh man just told me check my email. Okay. All right. Let's see. I have to email Obsidian the link. Excuse me. All right, I just emailed it to you. It's okay to poverty shame. Pimp game dreamt from hoes with that spitfire, bruh. Yeet. SKC, why the hell Did I notice you on some streams with a dial? Was y'all having a show your dial challenge? That's a new thing, dial game. I mean, let me make it clear. A dial was his profile picture. He didn't actually have an actual, sex dial on camera with him. It was his profile picture. We don't know if it's actually his. But yeah, that dial game is a thing. Oh, thank you, Sheila E. Requesting everyone to hit the like button. Thank you very much. Let me hold $10. GA Boy says, let me hold $10, Todd City. I got you once I get my Trump check. You ain't got your Trump check yet? You slacking. You should have been got your Trump check. You need to be wilding out. You need to be wilding out. You ain't got your Trump check yet. Everybody got paid. When I was in Walmart, they only had like 3 TVs on the floor. Like literally. And TVs are cheap as hell nowadays. Because you can buy it was a 65-inch TV. 65-inch. Those things used to be 2 Gs. That thing was in there for $468 or $78. I almost fucked around and bought one. But I was like, no. Because reality is reality, and that's how much those TVs cost nowadays, and it'll be there. And I ain't about to be buying a TV during these times. But I was like, damn. Because my fear was, because I do want to buy a TV whenever sports come back, I do want to get me a TV, because I got an older model 70-inch widescreen. It's one of the older models, not one of the big bulky ones. It's light, but it got a little sloping back on it. But it's 72 inches, so, and the picture looked good. So I always just rocked with it. And the little bulb in the back of it finally just kicked the bucket on me. And so I had to replace that light and pay $200, so I can go grab me a new 65-inch for less than $500. So that's more than likely what I'm gonna do when sports come back. Salute and shout out to Game Changer, making it in here bright and early on the West Coast. It's like 6:39 for him. Damn. Sosa, you said you saw a 65-inch TV for $300 or 300 something. You know what I did too? They didn't have no more of them. The ones that they had was 468, but it was one for like 370. So yeah, they giving them things away. But I got a fear that when football start back, they gonna up the price by a few $100s. So that's why I was tempted to buy one now. I think Obsidian is having problems with the link. There got to be what's going on here. That could be what's going on. We got 0 in the title for those that just making it in and don't know what's going on. We got 0 in the title, and it is rumored that he is passed out sleep somewhere. That's what everybody has come to the conclusion of, that he probably had a late night on Kuda and is currently asleep. So we're just winging a show, and Obsidian was going to come up. And I don't know if Obsidian wants to stick to this topic of feminism, because he don't really go in that much on feminism, but Obsidian always got something that's definitely interview worthy to talk about. So but I think Obsidian is having problems with the link. So if the link is not going to work right for Obsidian, we just going to have an open panel freestyle show like we did on Friday, and we just going to wing it if we can't get Obsidian up here. I do have Zoom. I paid for Zoom, but right around the time that I paid for Zoom, I really started liking StreamYard, and I never even went live with Zoom. So, Actually, I'm still paying for Zoom and not using it. Body Thug says feminism is holding zero back. Sosa says says that zero is up. Oh, let's talk about something kind of controversial and potentially sad, but potentially a rumor. I saw Nyla. I saw her title, and it said something about Sansa Ray passed away. I clicked on it for a little bit, and she was talking about it, and it wasn't confirmed. And she didn't know if it was true or not true. And they was on the air debating whether or not it was true. I thought that was kind of weird. But either way it go, it's been 12 hours. Do anybody know if that rumor was true or not true? Trey, the MBD says, who? Sansa Ray. That was a black female. It's a black female YouTuber who been, been around this type of this space, these type of conversations for a while. Like I said, I listened to 5 minutes of Nyla talking about it last night. Rest the bag. I came in like, huh? You're like, yeah, that's some breaking news for that ass, ain't it? Yeah. But no, Nyla did a stream saying that rumor has it Sansa Ray passed away. That I listened to like 5 minutes of the stream of them trying to figure out if it was true or not true. And I said, okay, heard enough. And then just turned it off and went about my business and figured I'll just wait 12 hours and figure if it was true, people be talking about it in the morning. So I'm going to take the lack of response from everybody as it's not true. Okay. I'm just going to take Perfect Billis' word as gospel. It's not true. Okay, good. Done. That's over. Put that to bed. You don't got breaking news, Reg. You can break the news that it was a rumor but it's not true, but you can't break the news that actually happened. And we have Mumia Obsidian Ali in the building. I'll probably change the title, but be that as it.
No, you don't have to change the title.
All right. Well, okay.
But what we do have to do, because my time here is underwritten by the sponsors, and that's part of the deal. So we do have to. Definitely, what we actually absolutely have to do at 45 minutes past the hour is go to a quick break, and we'll be right back. And now, a word from our sponsor. This exciting episode of the Obsidian Radio Zoomcast comes courtesy of the Masculine Energy Limited Edition Hoodie Onesie. Hey fellas, ever wonder how Mr. Dumb Jock Division stays looking so damn cool? Want to be just like him? Well, you're in luck, because now, from the makers of Masculine Energy Drink, comes the one and only limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie. That's right, fellas. The limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie. Now you don't have to worry about being led by the hand by a man old enough to be the dad you never had, taking you to the men's store you've never been to help buy your very first suit at damn near 35. You can just jump right into your limited edition masculine hoodie onesie, and it'll do the trick anywhere. That's right, fellas. It's the dart-eared cap, hoodie, and onesie all in one. The limited edition masculine hoodie onesie that you can wear all year round and look like the damn fool that you are. Comes complete with soft, cuddly, built-in booties, so you don't need those cumbersome Tims or Jordans. And you won't have to worry about going potty because the limited edition masculine hoodie onesie has that snapback bottom for when you gotta go. Get your limited edition masculine hoodie onesie at all fine retail outlets for man boys like you, or call 1-800 masculine energy today. And thank you. And now back to the show.
Oh man. You know, when you said a hoodie onesie, I couldn't get the image of it until you said the part in the back for when you can pull it down. What did you say? It's like a little flap in the back that you can roll it down when you gotta take a shit. That's when I finally had a full image of what this onesie looked like. I didn't fully get what you was talking about until then. I was like, oh man. Goddamn. That was the part that did it. You probably can hear me laughing in the background. That was the part that did it for me. The little flap in the back. God damn.
I got so many I got a whole stack of on my desk. I got a whole stack, like, you know, like post-it notes. Mm-hmm. I got a whole stack of them, about a couple inches thick, of mock ads. So I just crank them out.
That was some funny shit. A hoodie onesie with the flap in the back. All right. Let's oh man. So today we was supposed to be talking to Zero about feminism, and I don't know if that's you touch on that, but you don't really go in on that. You got any words or thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, black women. There was an actual article. This was like right after Trump was elected. President Donald J. Trump, number 45, going to vote for him again. And voted for him in 2016, going to vote for him again. And there was an article in the New York Times, and I should have gotten it. I didn't get it. So some enterprising individual out there can go back and dig it up. This would have been this December, either November or December 2016. And the article was talking about how black women were the most feminist women of all. And they cited, you know, the examples of Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey as, like, you know, major figurehead examples. But that black women were the most feminist of all women. And which, you know, I've always known. I've known that better part of 20 years, if not longer. So to me, that's not the issue. To me, the issue is, how has feminism worked for black women? I mean, I mean, we never talk about outcomes in Black America, and for good reason, because if we start talking about outcomes, then you have to start looking at, the things that look bad. For example, Black women don't want to talk about the outcomes of their mating choices because they aren't good.
Right.
And I mean, if we can go on, from there, just in general in Black American society. So the question I have is, how has feminism worked out for the rank and file Black woman? And I was just reading an article by Feminista Jones. I mean, as the name infers, Feminista Jones, her life sucks. She's single, alone, 41, no family. I mean, you don't make any money writing unless you're like really enterprising, and she's not. I mean, what is there? And now she's gonna be on this, I'm on this self-love kick, and paging Derek Jackson. And I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Most Black women's lives are pathetic. Nobody wants to say this out loud, but it's the truth. Most Black women's lives are pathetic. When you really get down to it. That's the reason why they watch so much TV and stuff like that, because they try to live vicariously through other people because their lives are so fucked up. Or in the case of Black women like a Feminista Jones, they're so wrapped up in causes and politics because they don't have a life. They don't have a life.
Okay, what do you think about this statement that Perfect Blackness just made? He says, I do agree with Zero in that feminism really cannot be voted out. The only way to deal with feminism is to simply stop fucking with them.
I disagree. You can vote feminism out. You can legislate it out. You can do a whole bunch of things to fight feminism. The problem isn't that. The problem is, if we're going to talk about what to do about it in active terms, is that Black men are way too apathetic. Well, let me put it this way. There's kind of like a market segmentation going on with Black men. There's a group of Black men. There are a lot of Black men are apathetic, but there's a group of Black men who directly benefit from feminism.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a vested interest in keeping it going. But those Black men aside, you don't need a lot of Black men to put a big dent in feminism. Let's take one example, the ballot box. It's been demonstrated that Black male support has doubled for Trump from 4 years ago. Itself a watershed event. So that act alone chips away at feminism. If you don't think so, I actually did a podcast talking about Feminista Jones. I actually did a podcast where right after the election, she was shook. And that was with 13% of Black men voting for Trump. Imagine this time around when it's over 25%. She's going to mess around and have a bird. So, you can chip away at feminism simply by being engaged and voting, fellas. Just be engaged.
Well, one question that I have with that, okay, and oh shit, I forgot which state it was. Wasn't it Alabama that I forgot which state that they made it to where abortion was illegal in just one state.
Right.
Okay. That would be a chipping away at feminism, I would say. So
yeah, but it's a very heavy. See, my position is this: you don't need a hammer when a screwdriver will do.
Explain. What do you mean?
So I don't want to outlaw abortion. I just don't want to pay for it in the form of Planned Parenthood. See, I don't want to get rid of Planned Parenthood. I just don't want to pay for it. Let those who support a woman's right to choose write Planned Parenthood a check. If they believe in a woman's right to choose, great, write them a check. All the rest of us should not have to pay for it. Feminism can't exist without the state. And see, I believe in the old adage of no representation, no taxation without representation. If I ain't tapping that ass, I ain't paying the bill.
And just like that, Zero just comes on up. Hold on, real quick. Aegon Black Fire. You are one stupid comment away from getting punked past and kicked up out of here for good. All right. You came in here yesterday with that shit, talking about Bernard Riley talk pattern sounds like Sister George. All right. You one stupid comment away. Just letting you know. Fair warning. All right. Zero. The initial premise of, well, first off, hello to you. Good morning. Glad you're here.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, the initial premise, what I wanted to do is just give you an interview. Then you showed up late to your own party. So I wanted to be an interview. We break down everything, a lot of the things that you went over in your tape. It wasn't probably going to give you, maybe 5% pushback just to set up your talking points even further. But now with Obsidian on here and given what he just threw out on the table, this probably is going to end up turning into a debate that ain't necessarily what I wanted to happen, but we're winging it going forward here, so we'll see what happens or how it happens. But I did want to do a more formal interview on your core talking points. But
okay, yeah, I can wait to do that. I got my time zones mixed up, is what it was.
Yeah,
because it's 9 o'clock right now where I am.
Okay,
so I got my time zones mixed up.
Yeah,
so that's my fault.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me before too. I've had interviews scheduled when we had the time mixed up, but that happens. That happens. We get it right next time. But the topic of voting out feminism, we kind of stumbled into that, and so we'll give your thoughts and your take on that. One example that I gave is abortion was made illegal in Alabama. That's one aspect of de facto, feminism being voted out, so to speak. And I know you always say you can't vote out feminism because women got the vote. And so go ahead and expand and elaborate on that. I guess that's where we'll
So in that extreme case in Alabama, what you have to understand is that you look at the overall picture, right? Our the birth rate is down in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank period. The only people having babies are immigrants. If you want your country to be taken over by immigrants, then you can just do nothing about it. So they do stuff like that where they test the law, just like with the healthcare law, they tested it just to see if it'll fly. They can't just open it up nationwide. Now, that's an extreme circumstance. That's pretty much like desperation. Nationally, I don't know. I don't think, because again, the law is that abortion is legal. That's the federalized law. It's legal federally, but states can't override that. So you're right in that regard, where the state they voted it and got it out of the way. And again, I'm just gonna have to mention that is an extreme circumstance. All you have to do is look at the birth rates in the United States. It's like 1.5, less than 1.5. So they're taking an extreme measure to do this. I mean, right now there's a lot of extreme measures. I mean, feminism itself wants. So I came up with a new word because I want to be less incendiary. Instead of saying legalized prostitution, it's nationalized female sexual freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds better. All right, so this is good
PR. That's great PR.
This isn't something that men want it, but who really wants it is feminism, because they want control and autonomy of their own bodies. They want to be able to monetize their own bodies, but at the same time, that actually gives the government the ability to wash their hands and say, well, we don't have to pay these bills anymore. Through collective gathering of men's money through welfare. So again, that will be now, if they try that out in a state, that's going to be a rare circumstance. It's just like how a rare circumstance is allowing OnlyFans to exist in its current state. They didn't do it when Craigslist was existing like that. They shut it down, and now they're letting OnlyFans exist in basically its current form of prostitution. So a rare circumstance it's not going to give you a full picture. You have to look at things that are larger than that. So with the Alabama thing, yes, they're trying to get abortion back. I mean, they're trying to get keeping your babies back on the table, pro-life back on the table, but it's in response to the fact that 1.4 birth rate. The birth rate is, we're not going to survive if we don't do this. But again, I don't know if it's going to happen nationally.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing that happen nationally because some state, the more liberal the state, the less likely that's going to happen. But and I looked at that in Alabama. Republicans been trying to make abortion illegal ever since abortion has been legal, and they, I guess, in that state, they got the right, people in place to get it done. But I don't know. I always, a lot of people. Hold on real quick. A lot of people talk about the motivations of white people when they talking about the birth rate and all of that. And I'm like, 50% of white people, let's just say, like I always say, if Bernie would have got elected, it would have been open border anarchy and amnesty for illegal immigrants. And all those trends would have made white people no longer a minority in this country. So they're not moved by their own self-preservation and power and control and population dominance as much as people think. Otherwise, they would be collectively moving differently. So it's really coming down to liberal or conservative, and they're so hinged on their liberal or conservative views that they're not even looking at this thing like, damn, we about to be a minority in, using air quotes here, in their own country, But I don't know. I don't know what moves and motivates them, because I don't think they moving by race as much as black people think. There's more ideology. They're moving by different ideologies. They have a national identity. Like if you look around the world, if you look at even black people in other countries, like for instance, if you, I'm not sure how many countries you've been to, but hold on real quick. I've gotta thank Mike Anthony for the $20 super chat. I had it sitting up there. I didn't formally thank you very much. He says, Bernard, keep up the good work. The show was quite helpful during the COVID lock-in, work from home. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat and glad I can help you working from home situation, make it a little more pleasant. Thank you very much. Go ahead with it, Zero.
Oh, by the way, hello, Obsidian. My bad.
Hey.
So
hey,
yeah,
that hey is cool. Obsidian, have you noticed that everybody be doing that now?
You see what I emailed you, what I put? Hey, Obsidian voice.
Everybody, I've heard DJ Kuda when Ty City came on for the 101. The first thing Ty City said was, "Hey." I heard DJ Kuda do it. I heard everybody do that.
That shit is hilarious.
It's starting to catch on.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious. Oh shit! I forgot what I was saying. No, so yeah, you were talking about so white people have a national identity. So the way they think about it is, I'm an American, like that, American, because they have a national identity. Black people have the same thing outside of America. If you go to South America, the South American black people have a national identity. They identify themselves by where they live. Same thing in Africa, same thing in Jamaica. But in America, this is unique to American black people. We don't have a national identity. We don't even want to identify as American. Now, black conservatives, a lot of them do. A lot of black conservatives identify as American because they're like, fuck that. I know where I am and I know how to win. They're like, I know how to win, so I'm going to identify as American because I'm going to take advantage of my status in the world as an American.
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know if it's a vast majority. I can't say that. I can't pin it on all of them. But a lot of black people are just like counter just for the sake of being counter. And it's not helping them. If you don't identify with something, everybody's going to step on you because you have no protection. So that's how white people are moving. They're moving nationally and they don't really care. But other people in the country are kind of like, even immigrants that move here, they still keep their national identity.
Right.
That's how they move.
When it was on the ballot, well, in Alabama, I've got to plead ignorance. When they got that passed, was it on the ballot? Like the people had to vote for it, and the majority of the people in Alabama wanted to get rid of abortion, or did it come? Or did it just come from on high when they
First of all, it's Alabama. So my company has a branch down there, and even in like the work culture, religion is like number one. Even in their corporate culture, this is how deeply ingrained like that shit is in Alabama. Like company culture, where you shouldn't be doing that because something like this is why religion isn't really practiced in corporations, because all kinds of shit can result from it. Lawsuits, people saying the wrong thing, people getting offended for something, and all types of shit can happen to the company behind it. But in Alabama, unique case, like I said, it's a rare thing. You pick that state because, I mean, yes, they're gonna go to reverse abortion. Yes, it's fucking Alabama.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Really,
no, I
don't know
understand that. I was just trying to figure. I didn't know if that's how it was changed. Was it like literally it was on the ballot and the will of the people voted for it? I didn't know exactly how the process went about to getting that change. I'm a little.
I can look into the process, but if I'm going to take an example, an example would be something like in California, where they wanted to roll back this law concerning disclosing your AIDS status, so you don't infect people on purpose and shit.
Yeah.
So they put it on the ballot like ASAP. They just drafted, wrote it up, put it out there, and then boom, voted on it. And then, maybe it was like that because they wanted, and it was pretty quick. Like it went under everybody's noses. Like California has a law saying you don't have to disclose your AIDS status anymore. You can just go around do whatever you want because the AIDS drugs and shit.
Okay. Now, one thing that I do want to say now, and I said this when Obsidian first came on, I said that he don't really talk about feminism that much, but I kind of got to amend that because I think a lot of people in the Black manosphere, when we're talking about Black women and a lot of the stuff they're doing, we are essentially talking about feminism. So I guess my question for you is, where do you think that in this space, when we're talking about women, do you think that the mark is being missed as far as not talking directly about feminism and the laws and how it's affecting everything? Do you feel that people are not really, hitting the nail on the head, so to speak, with the, with the discussions that's being had, because it's like they're dancing around feminism? Like, is that more of your view of what people are doing and how the mark is being missed, so to speak?
Man, I think it's a combination of things. Like when I talked to you and Obsidian and Kevin from last time, I just kind of went back and thought about some things. And it's like, well, you want to let people know what they're up against, but at the same time, if you try to knock them over the head with all the information, they're just gonna, filter it out and not care. Because then they start thinking of things like, well, you're being defeatist and all this other shit, when I'm really trying to tell them how to win. As far as what you're saying with the manosphere not really talking about feminism, we don't talk about feminism as like the machine that it is. We talk about like the Black issues and stuff like that, but that's a narrow focus of what feminism is. Like for instance, the Washington Post did a survey in like 2016 to try and extrapolate the number of men still voting with women, and the percentage was like 27%. That gives them with their already 52% of the vote, that means they're 80% of the vote. So with that, it's like any legislation you try to get past them isn't going to work. If you try to out money them and they have all the money, that's not going to work. If you try to lobby politicians, they'll just buy your politicians. They've already hijacked every American institution designed to help people out, which is giving away free money. So it's like just telling people that information puts them in a mode where they're like, well, what the fuck can I do? But then when you try to tell them what they can do, which is to really starve it and walk away. You got to walk away from women in order to keep money out of their pockets. it's like it's an automatic no. So then you reach this point where it's hard to really talk about it. So people really avoid the larger issue of feminism because it looks so dire. So then we focus on like smaller things like, you know, the way women behave and shit like that. But then we don't focus. But then when we do that, we look past the anthropology of it. Because if we're going to focus on the way women behave, behavior is a human thing, and then we look past the anthropology. Like when we talk about women and their choices and mate selection and shit like that, women have always been rather self-serving, self-centered, and ruthless in mate choice because it's by design, and men are too, actually. But women, the thing is, women only have one option available to them in mate selection, and that's their genetic value. Men have genetic value and everything else. So, but we should be in a more powerful position. But the problem with that is, if we want to propagate the species, women have a more valuable. Their one thing is more valuable because they're the access to kids and family. So feminism took advantage of that. And that's the biggest problem, where feminism took advantage of the fact that women have access to kids and family and the survival of the species, and basically got a bunch of cucks to acquiesce to them in order to run the country through the vote. And this has been the hardest part to really convey to men, to really understand what you're up against. Because once you understand what you're up against, then you can move forward accordingly. Then you can plan. Then you can do all of the other stuff. Then you can galvanize politically and all of that shit. Because to be honest, you can galvanize politically. For instance, when I was in here last week, when Obsidian said, you know, this is America, you should be able to do this, you should be able to do that. He's right, but the problem is, when dudes are like defeated, they're not even gonna fucking try it. Like, for instance, think about our black politicians. What do? They go for power seats first. They go for like Senate seats. They don't have any foundation. They don't go for the local legislature. They don't go for the aldermen. They don't go for the city council. They don't go for the director of infrastructure and shit like that. They don't do any of that. They go straight for the power seats. But if you go for the power seats with no foundation, you're either going to be bought off or voted the fuck out for not doing what someone wants because they have the money. But the immigrants come in and they get the low seats first. They foundation themselves. They build that foundation so they can have money behind them. They have grassroots money behind them. That's the difference between what our politicians are doing and what immigrant politicians are doing. They get those locals. It's happening here in my state. Like all of the immigrants, the Africans that have been immigrating, that have been coming here since, I don't know, shit, 1980 something. They've just constantly grabbed tiny seats and then built their foundation, got bigger, and now they have power seats. But their power seats are not corruptible because they have the backing of their foundation. So if someone throws money at them, they can be like, I already have it. You know, they're like, this is about us becoming powerful, not about what the fuck y'all want to do. So that's the difference of what I've seen. So again, Obsidian's right about this being America, and you can do things, you can do that, but we don't have any examples of that. And it's because, you know, honestly, our men don't want to walk away from welfare pussy. I'm just being honest with you. Black men can't do it. I'd like to see it, but it's not gonna happen.
Well, I do want to get into that part. But what do you think about the fact that a lot of women, I think I asked you this before, I don't remember what your answer was, so we can revisit that. The fact that a lot of conservative women tend to vote with their husbands.
Yeah, they do, because white dudes will have a hard line. They draw a hard line. It's just like with the whole, when the manosphere first started, when it was just a bunch of MGTOW running around, you know, trying to grab as much information about feminism as possible, like those dudes took hard lines, and they'll fucking leave their wives and go get mail order brides. They'll leave the country. They've been known to do this shit. They'll bail out and pay a wife and just be like, all right, fuck it. And then they draw hard lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, with the let's just look at the college. Let's look at the college shit, right? So feminism hijacked the academia. They hijacked college seats and shit like that. Test standards have been relaxed because of this. I mean, they're basically giving away PhDs to women. They're not, when you get a PhD, you're supposed to write an original thesis on something that you're passionate about. It has to be original. This is how you get your doctorate. Women aren't doing that shit. They're like regurgitating stuff that's already been said. Like they get their PhDs from just writing bullshit. So it's a bunch of uneducated PhD women out here because standards have been relaxed in academia, but it puts them in the class saying that they're most educated. And then on top of that, so men have bailed out of college because of how feminized it is, and they went into the trades. Now, because of that, men are actually making more money in the trades. Well, this is what I've noticed the white side is doing. They jump into these trades, make a shit ton of money, get successful, become entrepreneurs and all this other shit. And they will draw a line in the sand saying, if feminism hijacks academia, I'm going to bail out of it. And this is why the women they'll tend to vote towards their husbands, because these men are still like super successful. They make more money than their educated wives. And even though they have the label of, well, I didn't go to college, their wives can use this shit like I'm dating down and use college as the barometer. But meanwhile, in the background, this dude is a fucking millionaire and his wife is dependent on him. So they still have that control. They just know how to draw hard lines and then subvert what's going on. And that's what I'm trying to get black men to really understand, that you have to do what they're doing and starve this shit, and whatever feminism is doing, subvert it, starve it of its money and do something else. But that's why white women tend to vote towards their husbands, because these motherfuckers they won't take the shit. They just won't. They don't take the shit. They don't live with their wives and play Xbox and shit. You know, they buy the house and the house is in their name and all that other stuff.
Right.
Are you familiar with the name Phyllis Schlafly?
Who that?
Are you familiar with the name Phyllis Schlafly?
Nope, but I'm gonna type it in here and write it down.
I think she would countermand just about everything you said. There are a lot of white Republican women who are true believers. They're not doing something out of fear of getting cut off or fear of getting kicked out or anything like that. No, they're true believers. And Phyllis Schlafly is a case in point. There's a mini series on her right now on Hulu. I'm going to wait until because I'm Netflix has spoiled me, so I'm used to binge watching everything now. So when anything like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and that sort of thing, I just wait till the whole thing is done and then I go back and watch it over again. So I'm going to wait until the series on Phyllis Schlafly is done on Hulu, and then I'll go back and watch it all. That's going to be late next month. So, June, I'll go watch the whole thing.
Okay. I got her pulled up, so I'm going to research her.
Yeah. And it's on the life and times of Phyllis Schlafly. She pretty much single-handedly not only killed the Equal Rights Amendment, but she changed the Republican Party. Okay. So, number one, there are Republican white women who are true believers. Now, granted, it's a different animal in Black America. Fair enough. Because, there are always white Republican women. Whereas with Black Republican women, you would have to go back to basically a century ago. So in the modern era, granted, according to Vox, you got about 6% of Black women today that are Republicans. So, you got a real small minority. So granted, I'll grant you that you got an uphill fight. But what it does prove is that not all white women were going along to get along. Many of them were true believers, and Phyllis Schlafly is a case in point. Number two, to your point about welfare, pussy, starve the beast, and so forth. The black marital rate is already at its all-time low. Okay, black men have been walking away. The trick is, see, politics. If you want to talk about politics, American politics at that, because we got to be clear, there's different types of politics. And this is American politics. And American politics, by its very nature, is loud and raucous. There's a lot of volume, a lot of noise associated with politics. Politics doesn't work very well in silence. Now, there are things that you have to do quietly, and there are things you have to do behind the scenes. But effective politics is vocal, and in the modern age is visual, starting with Kennedy on down. So, yes, black men have been walking away, but that really hasn't moved the needle in the public conversation. This is where the black manosphere can really be important. The black manosphere can really matter in that respect by being the mouthpiece for all of that. So why are black men walking away, for example? I mean, let's look at an empirical fact, which is the black marital rate is at its lowest point since records have been kept coming out of Reconstruction 1896. All-time low. Why is that? This is where the black manosphere can really, seize on that point. See, the problem with black men is that first of all, we're not good students of history. Second of all, we're too prideful to simply do what other guys are doing. And number three, we're too apathetic. This is what Steve Bannon with Breitbart did. This is what Rush Limbaugh did. Those are the mouthpieces. Fox News is another example. Those are the mouthpieces for the Republican Party. And let's just get right to it, because for many black folks, but for many black men, this is going to be about race. All right. For white men. Okay. That's their mouthpiece. That's their communications arm. The black manosphere can do the same thing. The exact same thing. So let's take the marriage piece. Why is it that so many black men, because let's be clear about this. This is what I teach my guys in my dating coach dojo for the non-select guy. You are not powerless, and I'm going to prove it. You still have to propose. Black women are loath to propose marriage because black women are cowards, and black women can't handle rejection, as the Aussie male model bears out. You still got to propose. If you don't propose, there can be no marriage. Period. If you don't propose, there can be no marriage. So, they're the ones who decide whether a marriage happens or not. No proposal, no marriage. So, why are black men walking away from marriage in such high numbers? Just putting the question out there openly will move the needle. And then, of course, you're going to get a lot of responses. For many black men, it's the unfairness of the courts. And, it just goes right on down from there. So, okay, let's take the courts. Unfairness, and, we go for the family court, divorce, child support, and so on. Okay. Now, all politics is local. Tip O'Neill said it best. So this can be dealt with, and that's the beauty of the American system, is that it's decentralized. Because the federal government devolves power to the states. This is the great thing about it. We can fight that on the local level, but it takes organization, it takes planning, it takes diligence, and it takes money. but it can be done. White men do it. You just talked about the illegal. You're talking about people who ain't even American citizens. They did it. You're talking about gays and lesbians. They make up less than 10% of the total American population. They did it. Black women, the Vox article from back in March bears out that black women are the most politically engaged group voting bloc in the United States, more than anybody. Black, white, gay, lesbian, straight, left, right, more than anyone. The only thing that is holding black men back are black men. Now, the good news, as I said to Bernie before you showed up, Zero, was that black male support for the Republican Party has doubled in the past 4 years. Back in 2016, 13% turned out for Trump. Right now, it's double. They're predicting somewhere around 20 to 25% or more black men turn out for Trump, in which case, given who he's running against, it'll be 1984 all over again. Remember Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale? It'll be that. It'll be a landslide. Black men have got to get engaged. They got to get involved. They got to get passionate. And they got to put action behind all of it. It's that simple. And it can be done.
Right. I agree with that.
Before I pass the mic back to Zero, I do got to thank David Johnson for the $20 super chat. I greatly appreciate that. He says, salute to Bernard and the old man. This Manosphere 2.0 for the life. Hey, I don't. When they held the draft, I don't know if I don't know who drafted me. I don't know what team I'm on right now. I don't know if I'm 2.0 or 3.0. I missed the draft. I wasn't paying attention when they drafted. But thanks, David Johnson, for the super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Zero. I know that was a mouthful, a lot to chew on.
It's all right.
Go ahead.
A few points. So yeah, for the most part, yeah, I agree. And I said that black men do need to galvanize at the base level in politics. And again, yeah, you're right. Foreigners are doing it. We should be able to do it too. As far as this woman, Phyllis Schlafly, I'm gonna have to research how her. I mean, because we have women like that that go along with men as well, like Shahrazad Ali. But it's like, how many of those are there? The percentage of that. Then, so I have to look into that as far as how many of her there is, because if we're looking at it realistically, women don't vote against their own self-interest. So even if there are like conservative women, that doesn't mean that they're like her. And they're not just voting because they could, lose the shit. So your question, why are black men walking away from marriage? That they're walking away, true, but that the marital rate being low is kind of moot because they're still in situationships with the same women that they would marry, I guess, and these single moms, and they're creating single moms and all that. So the marriage rate for black men is kind of like, because they're still creating babies from these women, babies that they could create in the marriage. And
all right, let me stop you right here. Let me stop.
Okay.
Okay. We know from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, United States Census, most black men today are single and childless. We know that. Okay. Or like 52% of black men are single and childless. All right. Less than 30% of black men are baby daddies. And of that number, most of them pay their child support on time. So they're not a problem. They want to have, now, in terms of family formation and stuff, they're a problem. But you get what I'm saying here. In terms of paying their obligations, consider it a tax. They don't want to form a family. They want to have a baby out of wedlock. Okay, well, now you got to pay this tax. It's called child support. They do.
Baby bill.
They do that. According to Judge Joe Brown, black men pay their child support on time more than any other group of men.
Yeah, I know. I'm an example of that.
Right. So we're talking about a very small percentage of black men who are true problems in this regard. Now, how do we deal with that? Solution: we bring the hammer down on them. We bring the hammer down on them in terms of they owe money to the state, which is taking from me and every other brother that don't have kids, and we paying taxes. That's robbing us. How do we deal with that? We support strengthening of cracking down on deadbeat dads. That's number one. Number two, with regard to the women who have these kids, how do we deal with that? We support more stringent welfare reforms. It's not going to be a big knockout. It's not going to be a silver bullet. We got to think of this as death by 1,000 cuts.
Real quick, how do we crack down on deadbeat dads?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Many
That's
will
what I was
argue.
gonna address that.
Many will argue that they're already being cracked down on. They get locked up if they get, pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt and got warrants or whatever for back child support. They ass going to jail.
But
I'm sure you can crack down more.
The more important part is they have no money.
You have to think about it politically.
There you go too.
You have to think about it politically. Deadbeat dads, that's something that polls well with everybody. Nobody's going to defend a deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy fix. And the Republican Party is the party of cracking down on deadbeat dads, but it's also the party of welfare reform. So that's an easy fix. If the goal is to put a dent in feminism, in this case, black feminism, two ways to do it. Crack down on the deadbeat dads, but then also crack down on the baby mamas. One, you make it harder to be a deadbeat. Two, you make it harder to get welfare. You got kids. And it can be done. But the fact that both have already been done, you already got a precedent for it. See, you got to look at this thing as eating an elephant. Pardon the pun, because we do have a lot of pachyderm type broads around us. But you got to look at it that way. You got to do it one bite at a time. We can weaken this thing. See, we don't have to see. I would prefer a very weak feminism than none at all. And I'll tell you the reason why. If you think in military terms, which hurts your enemy more? Just killing them outright or wounding them?
Killing them.
No. Wounding them.
Explain.
So, he supports torture. All right, I don't want. Let's let me finish up real quick. So I understand that you're talking about the 80-20 rule with chicks having babies by a few select guys. I understand that as well. And yes, the marriage rate is low, but like I said, men aren't really. I mean, I'll have to look at the numbers in order to really support what I'm saying. So the thing about enforcing child support on deadbeats is that, I mean, the bottom line is they have no money. What you really want to do is check the hypergamy, which is what every country has done before women get power through equalizing them with men. Rome did the same thing. You want to check the hypergamy. Putting the onus on men in this regard won't do anything. What you check the hypergamy, and then a woman won't have any incentive to fuck with somebody with no money. There's no incentive there, because that's what the thing is. It's just like right now where they have the power, they have no incentive to really get into a relationship because they are already taken care of by the state. So you want to check the hypergamy. Now your points about the federal law versus state law, not really going to go into that because there's a topsy-turvy nature there where like a federal law can overrule a state law and then a state law can overrule a federal law. So there's always a push-pull there. As far as like the LGBT movement, their agenda was with feminism. It went right along with the promotion of the feminization of the culture. So they were helped out and boosted with their agenda through feminism. They have the feminist vote. This is why all that stuff got pushed through.
How are butch lesbians effeminate?
No, I understand that, but I understand what you're saying. They're still women. Like they still get all of the benefits of being a woman. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretending to be a man.
All right. So let's.
I'm not talking about them as a like. Okay. I'm talking about like the agenda of feminism helping the LGBT community out.
Before you got on the air, I was talking about Feminista Jones. She is not in a good place, and she was shook after black men voted for Trump 4 years ago. She's going to have a bird come this fall because I predict a landslide victory for Trump, in part because the support from black women for Trump will be so strong, stronger than it was the last time around. I just mentioned the article in Vox that came out in March last month that verified the fact that black male support for Trump has doubled in the past 4 years. So here you have Feminista Jones, who is shook from what happened 4 years ago. My cold, dark heart is in joy just thinking about her reaction this coming fall. Now think about this for a minute. If you get brothers, when we're talking about 20, 25%, see, we don't need all black men doing it. And we don't need a huge board cube type of invasion or something. We only need a certain percentage of engaged, smart guys who are engaged, who are diligent, who put their money up. You don't need a whole lot of cash. See, one of the great things about being black in Black America is the politicians come cheap. The great things about Black America is women and black politicians, they're cheap. You can get it. I mean, you can get a black broad in Black America for a little bit of fashionista, less than $100. You don't need Prada. You don't need Gucci. You don't need Louis Vuitton. The vast majority of black women will never have it. The closest they will ever get to something like that is a knockoff down here with the vendor guys. It's easy and it's the same thing with politicians. Black politicians are cheap. You don't believe me? Look up all the numbers of black politicians who went to jail, especially at the local level, the state and the local level. They're cheap.
Yeah,
they don't cost a lot of money.
But again, that's part of the problem. Politicians are cheap, and if they actually are proven to be effective, feminism can just outbribe you. That's what I was talking about before, as far as like
give me an example of a feminist outfit that outbribed a local black politician.
No. I'm saying they can if they're proven to be effective. Feminism can just out. No, I can't give you an example because none of them have been proven to be effective.
So you never.
None of them have been proven to be effective.
That's not true. That's not true. There are black Now I know this is going to sound strange, but there are black politicians that are effective. I'll give you an example. When Cory Booker was mayor of Newark, nobody is going to say that he wasn't more effective than Sharp James. Sharp James was bad. He was bad for business. The mere fact of just getting him out of there and bringing in Booker was a long overdue and welcome change. Okay? So you can do it. Now, I'll grant you, he's the exception that proves the rule. Fair enough. I'll grant you. But it can be done. He is a precedent that proves it can be done. And if black men get behind it, and Cory Booker is a senator, I might add, he ran for president and didn't get anywhere. Neither did Kamala Harris, but he is a senator, a United States senator. But it proves that if black men get behind political players and they have a clear objective in mind, they can make things happen. Now, again, start small. Start at the local level. Start small.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Hold your thought, Daryl. I do gotta hold you. Choking on my coffee. All right. Got a shout out. Ty City just sent a $10 super chat. He says being a deadbeat is the closest thing men have to abortion. Nigga would say that shit. And got to give another shout out to my man Black Wolf Inc. with the super chat. Says, tell old man I just sent him an email and a cash app. So thank you. I'm assuming that email is important and relevant to today's show. So let's see. But go ahead.
So we agree. We keep agreeing on that. You do have to start at the local level. Like there's no way around it. As far as Cory Booker's political positions, he's a Democratic liberal, so he hasn't done anything in the way of male empowerment. So I guess I have to rephrase when I say effective. Like these male black politicians, they don't really do anything in the way of male empowerment. So when I say effective, I guess I'm being specific to what are they doing for men to get ahead. Because if they try to do that, that's why I said we don't have any real examples. Because if they try, feminism is just going to outbribe them and buy them from you. And you're right.
What do you mean by that? Hold on. What do you mean by that when you say feminism is going to outbribe and outbuy them from you?
So when you lobby a politician you basically give them money so they can follow your agenda. Mm-hmm. And lobby is just a really fancy word for bribe. So that's what I mean. So if a politician does something against feminism, only two things are going to happen. They can come to them with money and try to bribe them or lobby them, or they'll just wait until the voting cycle and vote them out.
But okay. Well, yeah, that sort of answers my question, because I was going to say that it's currently conservative politicians, white, but conservative politicians who are doing things that's not moving in the direction of feminism. But you say they'll just vote them out. Well, not really, because they're still conservative politicians. Now they probably have views similar to probably similar to yours in regard to this, but they're probably cowards or don't want to poke the bear, so to speak. So
you don't want to poke the bear. And again, you don't want to play with your career like that. I understand it. But at the same time, it's just like what we said before. If you start at the local level, what you do is you build a foundation where you already have your money in place. The money is underneath you. And then if someone does try to lobby you can, and they go, we got this money. Can you do this for us? And you're like, well, that doesn't help out my constituents. So, what you got, you know what I mean? So, and again, I agree with the certain percentage of men need to walk away. I talked about that before, where it doesn't take a lot of people. It just takes a certain percentage of men that have the shit together to walk away. And that would essentially and effectively starve feminism, because as discussed earlier, the 80-20 rule is real. So there's only a certain amount of dudes actually with the majority of women. I guess I hate using this word, the select dudes, but that's the way it is. But if you get these men, these high productive men, to leave, it starves welfare, because their money is no longer a part of the institutions.
Okay, I got a question about that. So if those men walk away, so to speak, how do you know that won't just cause the 80-20 rule to become the 90-10 rule, and the women might be okay with that because they'll just keep reproducing with the bed bucks and have their little feminist matriarchy that they seem to know and love?
Well, that's the thing. They're going to do it anyway. Like, it's not like you're missing out. The men that walk away, you're not missing out on anything anyway, because they're not fucking you anyway. So what does it matter?
I'm sorry, say that again. I was adjusting Mike. Say that again.
So let's just say you're a productive man, but you're not getting the woman you want because the 80-20 rule is, affecting you. If you walk away, it does nothing. She's not fucking you anyway. So what does it matter if you walk away? The only thing that changes is that you take your money out of the equation. No, you don't take out a dinner whore. You don't.
Right. But so that sounds like that's more so, or could that be seen as just more so coaching or advice for the individual man, so he could, move better, considering the situation. But far as the greater scheme of things, when you're saying what we're up against, explain, how does that exactly solve the larger problem that you're saying?
It is individual effort, which is why you need a certain percentage to do it. It's just like when Obsidian was talking about the percentage of men that need to galvanize. It's the same thing. It's individual effort, but you need a percentage in order to make it happen. And you don't need a large percentage. You need a percentage of the most effective people. That's what you need. And it doesn't even need to be all of the most effective people. It just needs to be enough to reach critical mass. typically about 8 to 10% of productive men to basically do something different, and then things change because their money matters, and that percentage of men can use their money to make shit happen. But when you use when you vote with your feet and you pull that 8 to 10% of men's resources out of the welfare system, it's a shock. It's like, fuck, where's our money? You know what I mean? So, and then it's like, where's everything? You basically this is an economic problem, is what I'm saying. And America is run on economics. All you have to do is affect something with enough money, you know, but as long as you let them have the money, they'll have the power.
All right, let's go to. Let's look
let me jump in real quick.
Real quick, I gotta shout out to super chats.
Black, he did indeed send me an email and a Cash App, and I want to let him know that I said thank you, and I definitely will be. I will make it my business to make sure that his concerns will be addressed on tomorrow's podcast. So thank you, and also got some other emails. I want to just acknowledge them. And now on Cash App, $ Obsidian Radio. Thank you.
All right, Black Wolf Inc. Thank you for the super chat. He says, also, the main reason he lost is because he is a black male feminist. He panders to women. He is too passive aggressive. And worst of all, he's vegan. Being a vegan? I was with you into the vegan part. Damn. God damn.
You know, he makes a point. You know, Black Wolf makes a point. Black Wolf makes a point. Because this is just my personal opinion. Now take this for whatever you think it's worth. I do think that I might even have to do that. A real man that has masculine energy eats meat.
I'm with you, Ty City. Let's vote for the No Man Party. Oh man! All right, now where are we at? We was talking about.
I believe that you should eat your veggies. I need to eat more of them myself, no doubt. But nevertheless, a real nigga.
Let me say this. I tried to go vegan one time when they came out with them vegan burgers, and I ended up gaining weight because, you know, just because it's vegan, just because it's a vegan burger, I guess that don't mean you allowed to eat 8 of them. So I fucked around and gained weight on a vegan diet, man. I was like, it's all vegetables. I'm smashing. Fake bratwursts and all that shit. I was in here pigging out.
Now, with regard to Zero, because Zero makes a really good point here, and that's this. Again, you have to look at this as a, you know what, Zero, you work in tech, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would know what nanotech is.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a fictional idea of nanotech. So you saw Avengers Infinity War, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tony Stark had a suit. He upgraded his everybody knows the Iron Man suits. So he built himself a suit of armor that was created out of nanotechnology. A whole, like a million of them, a million nanobots formed his suit of armor around him. And they could also do other things. They could form different shapes and tools and, you know, all kinds of different things that displayed in the film. Okay. My argument is we can't look at this like Iron Man #1, the first suit that he made in the cave. We can't look at it like that. We got to look at it as Infinity War. We got to use nanotech. That's got to be our approach. We have to approach this thing on many different levels. So there's the macro level and there's the micro level. Now let's talk about, now you mentioned the micro level unbeknownst to yourself. The micro level is okay. You starve the beast individually. And let's play that out. Okay. Now, me too, on the job. You say, okay, the way I'm going to deal with that is I'm going to put the Mike Pence rule in effect. I refuse to deal with any women that nobody else can say. In other words, I refuse to be in a situation where it's he said, she said, because I know they're going to take her side. Therefore, I will only meet with women where it's in full view of everybody else. No private meetings, number one. Number two, no assisting women in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, unless it's called for in my job description. If it calls in my job description, I'm supposed to mentor a woman or whatever, that's one thing. But if it don't specifically call for that in my job description, I ain't doing it. Now, see, a guy like me that was a union man, lifelong union man, I couldn't get away with it because we live and die. And Bernie, he's a fellow union man. See, we live and die by the contract. Am I right, Bernie?
That's right.
So we could say, oh, no, that's not my job description. No. And it's nothing that management can do about it because it's not in the contract. See? Now, another way that you can do it. Say, okay, this is how they're going to play it on the job. I'll tell you what. Guy like yourself, Zero, got a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge, a lot of certifications. You just quietly bide your time, stack your paper, make your contacts, and fuck it. When the appropriate time comes, you strike out on your own and do your own thing. Got your own little startup.
Yeah,
now you work for yourself. Now you got your own team. You can get your own men, and you can cut women out completely out the box. That's what I do every day. I don't work with any women that I don't want to work with. I don't work with you know what? I fix my life to where I don't have any direct interaction with black female fuckery. I have none. I fix my life to where I have no direct interaction with it. Why? Because I work for myself. I determine the rules of engagement, and you can do that. Matter of fact, I predicted that Me Too is going to spark a major business boom in the country because men are going to say, man, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm going to go ahead and just stack my paper, bide my time, make contacts, and when the right time comes, I'm out of here. I ain't got to deal with these broads at all. See, doing things like that is what you're talking about, starving the beast. On my podcast earlier today, I'll give you another example. On my podcast earlier today, some of y'all remember the last, it's not a Fast and Furious movie per se, it's a spinoff. It had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it and Jason Statham, Hobbs and I can't remember the other name, Hobbs and something. I went to go see that. Who?
Shaw, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Hobbs and Shaw. I went to go see that movie, Hobbs and Shaw, and also had Idris Elba. He played the heavy. So it's those three. I went to go see that movie. And I said in my podcast this morning, I said, listen, this is the formula. I said, you want to know the reason why they didn't made like what? Better part of a dozen Fast and Furious pictures. They got another one getting ready to come out. It's so hugely successful. Why? This is the formula. And this is the reason why Fast and Furious was so successful. Explosions, crazy hot cars, gunplay, martial arts, and hot bitches. That is the formula. That's what men want to see. Men don't want to see woke shit. Men don't want to see women in men's roles. They don't want to see that. Men want to see explosions, cool fights, cool cars, gunplay, and hot bitches. You do that, you're going to be successful. Every Fast and Furious movie has been successful, and that's the reason why. And guys love it. Because I know I'm going to go see the next Fast and Furious movie. If they keep on doing it like they did the last ones, I'm going to go see that shit. You can best believe it, because that's what I want to see. I don't want to see all that woke shit. Now, what am I saying? Hollywood is getting more and more woke. Okay? There are fewer and fewer male movies that men want to see. I just mentioned Iron Man. You want to know the reason why I like Iron Man? Because Tony Stark is a man's man. He doesn't apologize for liking hot bitches. He don't apologize for that shit. Matter of fact, there's a scene in the very first Iron Man where the reporter goes up to talk to him. What does he say to Happy? Is she hot? Is she okay? Oh, okay, all right, yeah, go ahead. He doesn't make any apologize for it. He don't apologize for that shit. And Tony Stark is an American, and Tony Stark is a patriot. You can't make a Iron Man movie today in 2020 because people will be offended. The social justice warriors and all the rest of it will be offended. He's a sexist. He's a misogynist, all this nonsense. You know what's going to happen, Zero? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And it's going to happen with white guys first, but black guys are going to follow. White guys that have the knowledge, have the skills to make films and make movies and make TV shows, they're going to say, man, fuck this shit. I'm going to do my own thing on my own. Screw Hollywood. I'm going to make my own thing the way guys like it. The shit is going to be successful. Brothers are going to look at that and we're going to follow suit. That's what's going to happen. That's starving the beast. That's what I'm talking about. What do you think I do every day? I get on the air and I do my own show because I don't want to be tied into that bullshit. That's why I don't take any funding from these woke people. I don't want any of that money. And I talk about the things that men really want to talk about. And I'm successful. That is the formula. So you are right to starve the beast. You're correct. But there's a way to go about it. And I just giving you the blueprint now, and I'll hand back the mic.
Well, before we go to Zero, I do got to thank Mr. with the super chat. He says, if you read this, you've been monetized. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Caesar D1 came with another super chat. Says, salute Bernard and the panel. Obsidian, check your Cash App. Great show.
You got another one.
You gotta get your echo box ready. You just got a Cash App.
Oh yeah. Thank
you. All right, Zero.
You got another one, Bernard.
Oh, another super chat. Okay, I'm all scrolled up. All right, my man. Who is this? Danielle Gardner says, "Oh man is right. Look at Dust Films on YouTube." What are Dust Films on YouTube? I have no idea what that is, but thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And with that, we're going to go to Zero.
Okay. Well, once again, we agree. the plan, yeah. This is what I've been saying the whole time. It's what I'm about. You gotta walk away, and you do have to have. Again, what I'm doing is just telling people what they are up against. As far as everything else, the solution, yeah, we're on the same page. But when you provide a solution, a lot of times people are hesitant because they really don't know what they're up against, and they think shit's okay. They think they can just keep, walking around with their heads looking up in the sky. As far as like the woke shit, yeah, that's why John Wick took off so well. Because
exactly. That's a very good point. That story of John Wick, that's a very interesting story. Keanu Reeves and the guy who came up with the idea for John Wick, I don't know if you know this, they actually worked together on the Matrix movies.
Yeah. Yep.
He was the guy that actually came up with the idea for the John Wick franchise that we know today. He was like a fight choreographer or something. Like he wasn't even like the director.
Yep.
And he came up with he worked on the Matrix and he did his thing. While he was doing his thing, he came up with the idea for John Wick. And how he did it, he convinced now Keanu Reeves ain't your conventional leading man. He's very much a bohemian type of dude. In other words, you ain't got to worry about paying him a lot of money. And the way that they worked it out was he get Keanu Reeves to do the movie. Keanu Reeves take a low salary on the front end. But if the movie does well, he gets a percentage on the back end. Right. That's how they work that deal. Now, here's another thing about Keanu Reeves that's very interesting. Here's another way you deal with those this woke nonsense, these broads. Now, because he's a good-looking man, and he's popular and whatnot, a lot of ladies like him, and they want to take pictures with him. He said, "Okay, go and look up the pictures that he take with these women."
Obsidian, I'm pulling that up right now so we can get a visual image.
He don't hug him.
Yeah,
he keeps his hand way behind, way back where you can see it. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
And that's the way that, see, that all of these things are just little, go back to my theory, 1,000 cuts. You just take a little cut here, a little cut there, a little cut here, a little cut there. Believe me, over time, it will add up. That's how you starve the beast. Just little thing on the micro level, just little things you can do individually. Because you got the policy level, you got the independent level. He don't touch them broads at all. I mean, he take a picture with him, but he don't touch him. He just keep his hand out there in space. He don't touch him. See, little things like that you can do to starve the beast.
Right. So, and then with the other piece on like when you want to plan to leave, again, yeah. So my blueprint, basically, I'm just gonna. Well, I've already set my company up here, but when I leave, I'm going south, and I'm just gonna put network infrastructure in because I've done the research and all of that, and they really, I mean, they don't really have good infrastructure down there for networking. So when I go down there, that's my specialty. I used to run wire, I used to dig trenches, used to, well, still do all of that shit. So once I go down there, I'm just gonna put good network infrastructure and actually fiber optic if possible. I'm not even gonna putz with Cat 5 or Cat 6 if I don't have to. That's what you want to do. You want to have a plan to leave. This is why I said, like, if you have your shit together, if you have a good career and stuff like that, because it takes the productive guys to do this. It takes the percentage of men that can actually make an effect. Fucking a million Pookies can leave and it won't make a difference. But but if you leave, you set up your company, because a lot of countries still do what America used to do. America used to be like, you can immigrate here. What are you going to do for me? And countries are like that. Like where I'm going, it's like they have a what are you going to do for me policy. And that's my what are you going to do for me policy. And that's how I get protection from their government and all of that shit. And then I'm a dual citizen. I'll be, here and south at the, as a dual citizen, my company will be here and there. I'll benefit them with jobs. I'll benefit them with network infrastructure and all of that. You just have to, you gotta have a plan. And the only way to have a plan is to know what you are up against. You have to know your enemy. You have to respect your enemy.
Well, by now,
I
think everybody by now is, I'm talking about guys, are very well aware of what the situation is. The only trick now is, are they doing what you're doing? Are they saying, okay, let me just bide my time. Let me keep my powder dry. Let me gather up my resources, get my contacts together, lay down the groundwork for me to eventually, it might take me a year, might take me 2 years, might take me 5 years, but wherever you are in that thing, your goal is, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out of here. Whenever X day or time comes, I'm done.
Yeah, now for those that don't know what Obsidian was talking about, this isn't even the best example of it, but you can see right there, Keanu Reeves, when he takes pictures with women, he will let them lean in and touch him and get all close, but he's hands off. He put his hands out and off to the side. Like, y'all not about to accuse me of even putting my hand on the small of y'all back. We not going there. Yeah, he playing it safe. He got the hands-off picture approach going on.
You got Mike Pence rule on one side, and you got the Keanu Reeves maneuver on the other. Okay. And oh, by the way, Tom Likas, he was one of my patron saints of talk radio. Guess what he did? This is when he was still in terrestrial radio out there in California. He inked a multi-million-dollar deal with Westwood One. If you know anything about radio, Westwood One's a really big deal. And he inked a deal where they were going to do the radio show on the lot. I think it's a Universal Studios lot. They had the station there. The trick was he didn't want to take, he had his own team. He's got his own production team. They did not want to work where those broads were at because they didn't want any problems at all. You know what he did? He fixed it in the contract because he already got his own studio and everything. So he fixed the deal where what they would do when it was time for the show to go on the air, they would do it live from their studio and pipe the signal into the station where the engineer gets it and takes it and puts it across the country. They never even had to go to the actual physical site. And that was a multi-million-dollar deal. And this was back, wow, this had to be damn near 20 years ago. So it can be done. This is what I'm saying to you, Zero. These things can be done. And when I found out about it, it just made me smile because I said, shit, I've been doing this the whole time and didn't even know it. I don't, listen, the only women around me are the ones I'm banging. That's it. Otherwise, they have no reason to be around me. That's how we're going to do that.
No, again, agreed. But what I've noticed is that whenever I start laying out the history of feminism and what we are up against, and I don't use like anecdotes and shit. Like I got a whole video with cited research and all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you let people know about this shit, the first again, I'm talking to the wrong people here because you and Bernard are already gonna know what's going on. But for the most part, you have to understand that a lot of the vast majority of people, when they see what they're up against, their reaction is, first of all, it's denial and disbelief. And then it's the pushback is completely emotional. And then it's, well, you're just defeatist, even though I'm offering solutions. The problem is the overwhelming thought of what you're up against, but you can't sugarcoat it. You have to give it to them straight, because otherwise they will never. You can't win. You can't win. You can't win if you don't know what you're up against. That's my argument right here. I just arm men with the information, and then offer a solution. Offer solutions. So this is why we're in agreement for the most part, because what you're offering is legit solutions. So I don't argue with solutions. What my argument is against people who try to fight me on this, saying that I shouldn't let people know what the fuck they're up against. That doesn't make any sense. You have to know what you're up against. You have to know how powerful this shit is. And people will say, well, it's not that. Yes, it is. It is that powerful. But you have a way out. Well, it's powerful, but you have a way out.
Well, there's a very easy way to deal with the true believers. 2 words: Tom Likas. Let them listen to that. He's already done it. He's already taken out. See, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, and I'll take anything that's already doing what I'm doing. I just put my little spin on it. So I've done podcasts where the introduction is Tom Likas, and then I just go in and just give my take on it. So you don't have to go banging your head against the wall. Just get you some Tom Likas tapes and just play that for him. There you go.
Yeah, with Zero, that video that you mentioned, that's what more or less inspired this show today, because you had sent me that one after the first time you was on my show, and I finally took the time to watch it, and it was real good. You started from the beginning and broke down the history of feminism and led it all the way up to today. And that video is sitting on your channel lying dormant with like 150 views. So I was like, no, I really wanted you to basically just come on and we'll start from beginning. And
I was gonna say the thing with more detail, but here's the problem though. When people see that shit and they see like the actual, like when they can go research these laws and look up these statutes and shit and see what they're up against like in real time, it's disheartening. But again, you go, okay guys, here's how to beat it, and then they go, they're already like in a, they jump in the pit and then they don't want to get out. It's like, bro, this is how you get out the pit.
Yeah, because I did want to highlight, the research you did on that one. That was sort of the point. Is we probably do this again and start from the beginning, get the time zones correct, and just basically have you just lay out the.
That's my problem,
history.
man. I saw 9 o'clock and then I checked out. Reading is fundamental.
Yeah, no, I do that too. I'm bad at that. Even when I'm reading super chats or comments, I will like skip over a word or not read the last word in the sentence. It's just like my mind. I'm talking out loud while my mind is just skimming over it.
Right.
Yeah, I do that shit all the time. So I got to work on that. But But yeah, no, you got some good stuff with that video. I do want to get you back on with that. Ayo says, what about welfare pussy? That was one thing I didn't understand the first time I talked to you, and what you exactly defined as welfare pussy. And I always say, in these spaces, if we don't get a clear written down definition of terms, words, and phrases, it's going to run amok. That's why nobody knows exactly what a simp is right now. You ask anybody, so long story short,
I can go over that real quick.
The working definition of welfare pussy.
With women, welfare is free money. Okay, free money with no responsibility. That is welfare for women.
And you're defining that as money from the government,
money from
a random dude who buying air mattresses and shit.
Money from any source that gives it to them with no responsibility. Free money, no responsibility is welfare. Now, welfare for women is the actual money. They get money, and money gives them power. Free welfare for men is pussy, free pussy. Like they don't have to do anything to get it. It's just there. So that's welfare pussy. So welfare pussy is Keisha and all the rest of it. Now, welfare pussy can also be Megan with the 2-parent home, because what Megan will do is marry you and then take your shit when she's tired of you. So welfare pussy is women getting money from you and no responsibility.
So it sounds like a woman could be not welfare pussy, but on a dime can just merge or evolve into it.
Yeah, this is why I don't promote marriage, because in America, I agree with marriage, cultural marriage, but in America, if you get married under American law, you are subject to feminism. They're gonna come at your ass, and there's no way out of it. It's the equivalent of handing a woman a loaded gun and then telling her, please don't shoot me.
I disagree with that. I disagree. You have ability to determine what happens in your house. Like we were talking, me and Bernie a little while back. You might have heard about this, Zero. There's this sister online known as Delicious, Delicious. She spells it kind of crazy.
Oh, Zero know who Delicious is.
You know how black women are. In any event, she got with one of the Central Park 5. You remember the Central Park 5? That old thing.
I remember them.
Okay. One of the brothers in that situation, wrongly accused, wrongly convicted. So he won a nice, I think he won like $5 million settlement or something like that. So they got together, right? And me and Bernie were talking about this. And I said, look, there's a way to go about, I'm not out to knock the brothers for having a nice hot piece of ass to have some fun with. I got no problem with that. But it's clear there are black women out there that's just trying to get the bag. Now, my position is this. There is a way to go about this without your bag getting got. And I explained it to him. One of those things you don't do right off the rip. First of all, I don't see no point in getting married at all. So the prenup for me is a non-factor, because I ain't getting married, period. But if you got to make a move like that, you got to have ironclad prenup, and you can get ironclad prenups. You just got to know how to go about it. See, that's a state by state. Does it go back to states again? It's a state by state thing. Are you getting married in a state where prenups are likely to be honored or not? So you got to do your research. That's number one. Number two, you control what goes on in your crib because you pay for everything. And if the police happen to, there are sisters out there that like to call cops. They do exist. No problem. You just calmly tell the police, hey, listen, I'll help. Listen, y'all can be here. Y'all can be my witness. She's free to leave right now. I'll get a truck. I'll get the moving truck right now. Y'all my witnesses. I'll get the moving truck right now. I'll pay to have her stuff moved out. She can leave today. But I ain't going nowhere. This is my house. I paid for it. All the bills are in my name here. I ain't going nowhere. Now, she's free to leave. She wants to leave, she can leave. She can do it right now. I'll help her pack. See, there's a way that you got to go about stuff. Because in this country, the man is king of his castle. But there's a way you got to go about it. See, the problem with a lot of brothers is they ain't hitting on shit. I hate to say it that way, but true. If you ain't paying no bills and all that, and you all looking all crazy and all the rest of it, the cops are going to put you out. All you gotta do is be real calm about it. Matter of fact, I'll invite them in for some lemonade. Hey, y'all want something to drink? Hey, no problem. We ain't got to fight about it. We ain't got to argue over it. I'll help her pack. I got no problem with that. I'll call the moving truck right now. You're witnesses. We ain't got to fight over it.
Okay, all right, so real quick before Zero go, I do got to shout out Sick Lid with the super chat. He says Bernard Simp Riley, shout out Webster's Dictionary. I think he's insulting me right there, but if you're paying to insult me, that's fine. You can call me a simp. I don't care. I bought air mattresses before. I did it. So what? All right. Here we go. SKC with the $5 super chat. He says, B-Man, Boss Mac, Spit Real, Fire, Pull Holes, Drop Cold Game, Yeet, Bruh, Hold Down, White Tub, Cook Ends, Make Bank, While Plat, Chop These Holes. What? I think I read that in the right cadence. I believe I got it mostly right. All right. Thank you, SKC, for your illuminating words that you just you bestowed us with. We needed that. We needed that.
He's trolling hard as hell.
We can move on.
SKC, stay trolling. All right. So, all right, our first disagreement here today. So, as far as like the individual effort in the home, that's what I call trying to alpha the situation. You can't alpha your way out of this. So, as far as the marriage thing goes, the reason I'm against it is because of two things: the family court and the Duluth model. The Duluth model basically states that the man is always the aggressor and the woman is always the victim. The reason this is important is because this is why prenups become toilet paper. When you go into, and the state notwithstanding, when you go into court on and you have a prenup, it is always assumed, because of Duluth model, that the prenup was signed under duress. This is an implication. The woman doesn't even have to say it. It's already assumed. All she has to do is have a lawyer that just coaches her to, take advantage of this. So once that's established, your prenup is toilet paper. And again, you would have to have a very astute judge, or a judge that just basically is on some, I'm just going to ignore this bitch shit for you to win. This is why prenups are so, I guess, incendiary. When people talk about them, it's hard to agree on it, because what people not understanding is that Duluth model politics, again, I'm just going to repeat, the man is always the aggressor, the woman is always the victim, and this affects every step of marriage. So like if the police are called for a domestic disturbance at a home, the man has to be removed from the home because he's assumed to be the aggressor under Duluth model politics. And this is a real thing created in Duluth, Minnesota. And this is just the way it is. So women take advantage of this in marriages all the time. And this is why, like, when you do want to take control of your household, I understand that people want to do that, but that's what's called alphaing the situation. You really don't have any real power in a marriage, in a legal marriage in the United States. Yeah, Charles Merchant, even if she's the aggressor, again, Duluth model politics, created in Duluth, Minnesota by a bunch of feminists and upheld, supported, and litigated by the Southern Poverty Law Center, dictates that the man is always the aggressor, the woman is always the victim. And again, this affects the prenups in every single state. So
no, it doesn't, because Tom Likas has been married 4 times and he had prenups every single time. And they held in California. In California.
Yeah, how long ago was this? And I mean, I don't know his situation, but no one else try this. You're not Tom Likas.
Well, I mean, there are people like Tom Likas that do it all the time. To see, that's just it. And that's the reason why I mentioned the Central Park jogger guy, because he's in that era, in that situation where he can do that if he's smart. Now I'm with you. At this point, I'm not getting married. I mean, that's just
save yourself from jumping through hoops.
There's that. But because they still try to tenant this, that. I'll tell you what. How about this? Since it's going to be a tenant deal, I'll tell you what. you're now formally evicted. Let me go get the sheriff. If we're gonna talk about eviction and you're a tenant and all right, I'll tell you what. Let me go to the sheriff. I'm gonna go to the sheriff, get me the forms and all the rest of it to do a formal eviction. Now you've been given notice. You've been served papers. That's how they do it here in Philly. The sheriff comes out and serve your ass papers.
Yeah.
That you've been
talking about a girlfriend situation.
Yeah, because there's some brothers in the chat room saying, well, they're going to cite tenant rights and all. Okay, so this is what we do. I'm the landlord, since everything is my name. I'm the landlord. You're the tenant. I'm going to have you evicted. The sheriff will come out and serve you papers, and you will have a certain amount of time with which you have to move legally. See, there are ways to get around this. The problem is too many brothers are ignorant of their rights.
That works if we're talking about a girlfriend situation. You can't evict your wife.
No, you can't evict your wife. But what you can, okay, there's a lot of hoops you can jump through. You can jump through the hoop that the Arabs do. They divorce their wives in their country because their marriages are recognized in America, and then they get their kids by default.
But we already agreed that we ain't getting married.
No. I'm just letting the audience know.
We're talking about a girlfriend boyfriend deal. Okay, she going to invoke tenant rights. No, matter of fact, there was a football player. I can't remember his name out in New York. He did this. Girlfriend wouldn't leave. He just evicted her.
Real quick before anybody or Zero respond to that, Michael Grande, thanks for the super chat. He says, "Just be alpha and have a mouthpiece, bro." And I also got to thank T3 who sent a cash app. Thanks, I appreciate that. All right, Zero, I don't know if you got anything else you want to put on that.
So there's a lot of hoops you can jump through to if you want like marriage to work. But my thing is, why go through any hoops? Just don't do it. So like what the Arabs do, it's just like if you want to bring a foreign woman back over here, right? Because they're more cultured. Yeah, you can do that. So the problem is what you should do in order to make the shit work is because Arabs come from a very patriarchal country. When they come over here, they divorce their wives before they leave. And then because of their patriarchal system, the man by default gets the children. He comes to America, sets up his business and does all the rest of it. And then he brings his wife over as an employee on a visa. She can't fuck up. Now, this is basically what's called checking her hypergamy, because even they know, no matter how patriarchal the country is, no matter how cultured the woman is, none of that matters when they get an incentive to gain power over you, and they will take advantage of it. And why take the chance? So Arabs are like, why take the chance? There's no reason to take this chance. So
you ain't got to worry about marriage in Black America, because like I said, marriage is at an all-time low in Black America. So Black men already know to deal with that. The only thing that has to happen at this point, and it is happening, is that Black men are getting more politically engaged. Black men are much more savvy in terms of dealing with Black women. And so everything is moving in the right direction. We just got to stay the course. We got to remain engaged, and we got to support our own media now. Bernard Riley, yours truly, Tommy Sotomayor, Jason Black. The names go on and on. You know who they are. I'm not saying whoever you like. Support whoever it is that you like. Support them. They need your financial support. They need you to like, share, and subscribe. They need you to talk this up with your brothers. That's what we need to do at this point. And stay politically engaged. Vote GOP. Cut.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. I'm not. I mean, we agree more than we disagree. I think it's important to disseminate the information. I mean, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, is pound these niggas over the head and make sure that they understand what they're up against. I basically call it trying to smash the hope out of them, because if they have any hope that they can alpha their way out of this, they have to understand that they can't. You can't do it. So don't go that route. Go take the path of least resistance. It's easier said than done, but you can leave these bitches alone. Trust me, it's possible.
Yep. And on that note, I think we went round and round and round, and I think, like you said, we mostly mostly agree on most of the main points. There's some fine details that there may be some small disagreement on, but I'll open it up going forward and see if somebody else want to come up and add another wrinkle to this thing. But yeah, no, this was good stuff. And we still going to do a show where you break down the whole history of feminism. We still gonna set that up. But the link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and have at it and have to say? I probably shut it down at 12 noon. Well, in 30 minutes because we're different time zones out here. So yeah, at the about 12 noon EST, 12 o'clock EST, I will be shutting it down. So anybody want to come up and have it say for 30 minutes? Yeah, I can just come up here, shoot the shit, or ask questions for Obsidian or Zero, whatever you see fit. But let's go ahead and do that, and then wrap it up at 12. The link is in the chat. A lot of y'all got a lot to say down there, so go ahead and use that link. SKC, you ain't been up here in a while. Come your trolling ass on up.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to get Supreme King Coon's take on this. So yeah, Supreme King Coon in the building.
Yeah, I ain't had SKC up here in a while. Oh man, no, great show. It's numbers was looking solid. A lot of people hit the super chat. I haven't checked on the likes in a while, but yeah, we got 136 likes. I don't know what it is or why it is. Some people will sit there and watch a video for a whole hour and just not hit the like button. I can see if you just literally I can't stand this motherfucker. I'm just hate watching right now. Okay, hit the thumbs down. But it's people who be enjoying the show, like the content creators would just sit there and just won't hit the like button. I don't get that one. I don't get how 226 people can be watching and you not have bare minimum 200 likes.
Thumb stingy niggas.
Yeah, that shit. Oh damn, it just jumped up. To 145. So that's good. Some people hitting the like button, but yeah, I don't get it. It's just your thumb, your index. If you got your phone in your hand, just a little work of the index finger. That's it. Just work. I mean, not your your thumb. Index finger if you're on the computer, but your thumb if you got your cell phone in your hand. That's light work. Just go ahead and hit it. But the link is out there. And somebody by the name of Jerry is in the queue. I can't bring him up yet for some reason. He got his camera turned on and it looked like it's lagging. I can't bring him up for some reason. SKC, hashtag Dow game in the building. And look like somebody named Jerry. I have no idea who that is. And when I don't know who somebody is, I tend to go to him first to make sure that I'm not being trolled because I've been having a lot of trolls lately. So
you're not being trolled, bro. I'm a fan.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Go ahead. You got the mic. Fire away.
So the whole reason is like, you ever like seen something about Nicole Murphy?
Nicole Murphy? No, go ahead and educate us. What's up with that?
She was run by a generation of single mothers and Section 8 and all that other bullshit. So she said she was gonna be the only one to break the cycle. Mm-hmm. So she broke the cycle. So she became a model and she met Eddie Murphy. So far, long story short, they got divorced, had 3 kids or whatever. So she the only one that break the cycle. There's most women, like, they don't want to break the cycle of the generation of that's coming up. They want to leave it the way it is. And the problem is not I'm not going to really I'm blaming the government and the state. Because if the government and the state didn't allow that, these women wouldn't be doing certain things like putting guys on child support, certain guys paying alimony, That's how this comedian, he killed himself, Robert Williams. I'm saying it right?
Yeah, Robin Williams. He killed himself. I didn't know it had anything to do with child support. He was
he was paying alimony. He killed himself.
Oh yeah.
Absurd amounts of alimony.
And he's still paying that money. And
well,
he's in the grave. Yeah.
He's paying it while he's dead.
Yes,
His
that's
estate.
what I heard.
So again, welcome to feminism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Let's go to SKC. SKC, say something. Talk to us. We need to hear from you, SKC. Let us hear your voice, man.
Well, what's going on, man? I just been getting a lot of work done, man, and I got that thing coming for you soon.
I was just about to ask you about that.
I got that coming for you real soon. I think you're gonna like it. So, but yeah, I just been hunkering down with my doll. You know, it's the answer to Zero's question. You know, if all the men walk away and get a doll, then there you go, Zero. Game over.
No, that won't help anyway, because again, you need to propagate the species. We can never leave out the biology in this, man. You got to have a population, or else your country's going to be inherited by people who have babies,
sperm
immigrants.
We can do.
So look at China. They have a state-sponsored effort of sex dolls and artificial wombs. They are not fucking around, because the one-child rule put them in a bad position. So they got all that manpower to focus on technology, and it worked because they're doing Star Trek level shit over there with quantum physics. I actually go over that in one of my videos. So yeah, it helped them out as far as like the male focus on science and technology, but it put them at a deficit as far as like population goes. And what did they do? They moved into Tibet and took over because they needed bitches. And what else are they doing? They're collaborating with Africa in order to admixture. But admixture is nothing new for China. They've done it, throughout their history. Their government is like 5,000 years old. People be forgetting about this shit. When you look into the history of these older governments, they're past the type of shit that we're working on. We're basically toddlers. Like they don't have a national cult religion like we do. They don't have like this pesky thing called morality in the way of their progress. They just, they go forward. They have a subsidiary country called Hong Kong that they use as like a proxy bank in order to do capitalist dealings with the rest of the world while they maintain their government's foothold on mainland China. Like they know what the fuck they're doing because they've been here longer than everybody else, and they've already seen the rise and falls of other empires. And that's why, like, when people laugh at the sex doll shit, they're not understanding that they're moving full steam ahead with this shit, and the technology is getting to the point where it's crossing the creepiness line. It's getting to the point where you almost can't tell these bitches from real bitches. So the second you see a Android bitch show up in a rap video, it's over. Niggas can say whatever the fuck they want to, but the second it happens, again, economics is the study of people putting their money where their mouth is. So the second this shit happens and the economics show that these sales are off the charts because they saw Android bitch in a rap video, I'm not trying to hear it. Yeah, the uncanny valley.
Well, can you
hold on real quick. I gotta ask a question, because I understand that the Chinese, that they over in Africa, I thought that was about land and extracting natural resources and all of that. But you said admixture.
Well, they're gonna do that too. They're gonna do that too.
Explain the admixture. Why do they need to admix?
Because they have no bitches.
Oh yeah. Okay, duh. The lack of women.
Yeah, they ain't got no bitches.
Jerry, you ain't have to leave. You can come back, Jerry. The lack of women in China. They going over there to go and.
It's a multitude of things. It's
propagate their DNA, get off and get some research. Yeah, okay.
It's not a like a one-dimensional thing. They're again, their government is old, so they know how to play chess.
I was under the impression that when they was over there doing, like, if they getting it in with the African women, I was under the impression if they got them pregnant, they just was leaving the kids there. I didn't know
there isn't even gonna be over half admixture. They just need a small percentage of admixture. They need to survive. So in about 30 years, you're gonna see some of the coldest Blasians in the world over there.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You gonna book a flight of Bernard?
I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
We got a new passport, bro.
If you're young, you'll be able to partake in that. I probably won't be able to partake in that, but hey, you know.
Hey. Anyway, all right, moving.
Follow me down the hole though, Zero. From a psychological point of view, you have these guys, and let's say, you get this great number of individuals that go the whole doll route, right? Now, the doll does whatever they want. It doesn't talk back and all of this other stuff, right? Okay, how are they going to socialize with women in the real world then?
Yeah, see, that's a like the phrase unforeseen consequences. You can't know everything. You can't know every variable. So I don't know, but
okay.
I mean, I think that women will still be valuable. Like, people are gonna go for children and family. Again, what happens is, here's what I think: the shit starts to, quality control takes effect, right? If women want to participate, they're gonna have to bring back femininity and obedience and all the rest of it. They're gonna have to, because if the Chinese make women obsolete, then the rest of the world is just gonna follow suit. You think that they're gonna be do you think that shit's just gonna be in China once it's completed, once they get the technology finalized and out there and someone sees this shit? Like, it's not just gonna be there. They're gonna sell it to the rest of the world and dominate.
Correct.
So
and what I'm asking you is okay, if this dude and multiple guys or whatnot can basically have their peace at home, why do you think that they're going to accept I would say chaos outside of it?
Because women are the OG sex doll. You really can't replace them. I mean, there's always gonna be men who want real women, and that's gonna happen. Like, that's never gonna go away. All I'm saying is, it's gonna be a situation where women have to bring back femininity. They have to bring back what they brought before. They have to basically get back in line. And really, that's what
happened if they don't?
What do you mean? Well, they're left out of the market. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I don't think, put it like this: until they get the technology so good to where these androids are cooking, cleaning, making sandwiches, and washing clothes and doing all that, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue of replacing. It's going to be just more of a no, I'm serious. It's going to be just more of a. They're going to be basically some really elaborate masturbation.
Right. Device. It's just replacing the sexual. It's replacing the sexual function of a woman. The artificial womb is for the children.
No, I'm not laughing at y'all, man. I'm laughing at infantry skills.
Again. Here's the thing with infantry skills. What he doesn't understand is, I'm not promoting it. What it is you have an entire fucking government, 2 governments, Japan and China. You have 2 governments with a state-run effort to make this shit happen. This is not small. This is not, like, you can laugh at it all you want, but it's happening. Like, it's underway is what I'm saying. So me promoting it is not the issue. I'm sorry.
Happening, damn it.
Right, and it's like, if an entire government is behind it, I mean, again, once they perfect it, it's over.
Mr. Negative
come across as crazy as hell, though.
Yeah.
Mr. Negative, the negative man. You don't need 7 Gs. They're only 2 Gs. I heard.
Was that?
Mr. Negative man. He said he's buying one when he get 7 Gs. I was just letting him know you don't need 7 Gs. Just
it depends on AI.
Now, if he's talking about. If he's trying to get one that's going to make a sandwich, then yeah, he's going to need about 15 Gs.
But speaking of which, I am going to be working on my next ad, which is going to be the jawline nigga. And for black women don't need no sophisticated AI for their nigga bot. They
don't.
All you have to be is just that jawline fine ass nigga.
Well, here's with women's sex toys versus men's sex toys. Women have had sex toys for centuries now. Women prefer function over form. The reason why male sex toys are not as effective as women's sex toys because men prefer form over function. So there's no reason why a pocket pussy has to look like a real pussy. It's for the effect. So men want the form of a woman. And here's the thing, dude. We already have proof of concept that if China succeeds, that it's over. In I forget which countries it was. I think it was Italy and maybe Poland where they had a sex doll brothel. Now these were run-of-the-mill fake skin. They had a sex doll brothel and it outperformed the real women, and they got that shit up out of there real quick.
I didn't know it outperformed. I heard about it. I didn't know it outperformed the real women.
They got that shit up out of there real quick.
That I didn't know.
Real quick.
Well, that's once they perfect the AI,
yeah,
that's it. It's over.
Be better than a doll.
So Obsidian, are you saying that the doll obsolete game?
all of it. Once they have, I mean, we've already seen glimpses of this. If you talk Blade Runner, what's it, 249 or whatever?
Yep.
If you've seen it, Officer K he transferred the AI into into a doll, or whatever. So I mean, once they get the Android perfected. And my guess is within the next 20 years or less, once that happens, it's game over.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so all right, so check this out, SKC. Check this out, SKC and Bernard Obsidian. So I contract for AT&T sometimes, and they have an arm where they have they're working on the quantum computer. Google has already gotten theirs to like 53 qubits. So what a quantum computer does, it allows you to model real life things like a human brain, the nervous system, whole body, everything. It allows you to model pretty much anything. So the math in the quantum computer would be like, so a regular computer would be 1 + 1 = 2, right? Or whatever result factors you get to equal 2. A quantum computer would say, give me the most efficient way to get to 2, or give me everything that would equal 2. That's how you calculate quantum computers. So it's good at statistics and modeling shit. So this is how AI is going to eventually work, because on a conventional computer, it's a step-by-step thing, and the human brain doesn't work like that. So with a computer with quantum functions, what happens is it works more like a human brain, or like an inhuman brain, like a brain that's not even human. So what this does is it allows for true AI. But it allows for programmable AI as well. So you could actually have the programmable AI where you limit it to doing only specific functions, and then you can have true AI, which is sentient.
Whoa, zone, the zero. You just said that Google has a quantum computer
with they have the highest qubit count.
It has 53 qubits in there.
Qubits. It has the highest
like
qubit
they jumping around in there and they orange.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the amount of processing power. So anyway, what this technology does is it allows for very sophisticated algorithms to make something have like behavior becomes like feasible. So the most feasible technology I've ever seen in a movie to do this is a movie called Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
all they have to do.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, all they have to do is get it to that level of technology. If no one has ever seen that movie, look at the sex dolls in that movie. Once that technology reaches that point, you will not be able to tell that from a real bitch. Also, they're programmable. Well, except for the one that went sentient, but the other one was programmable, the first one. So the programmable ones will only have one function. One function. You're basically the male version of a dildo. You know, you all you do is gratify me, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. I mean, men are already cooking for themselves, cleaning for themselves, and shit like that. And if you're a bachelor with a sex doll, what do you need the doll to clean up for? You don't make a mess. You're a man. So again, you're just replacing the sexual function of a woman, which is what China is going for. And with the artificial womb, they're replacing the need to have a woman to have a baby. Once they do this, I'm telling you, unforeseen consequences. But
what are their projections on when they're going to have that ready to go? We talking.
I have no idea. They're still working on the animatronics and shit. They got the skin. The skin is almost done. Like
I'm thinking within the next 20 years or less.
I mean, it could be possible. These motherfuckers, they teleported matter from a fucking satellite to Earth and back, man. Do you understand how significant that is? That's Star Trek level shit.
Yeah.
You understand? And they're right now they're focused on getting this shit done. And then if you look at the exoskeletons that they're building with this lightweight polymer shit, and the animatronics that's going into just the face alone,
yeah.
Bro, you gotta understand this is not a game.
I agree. By the way, those polymers could be really useful for ladies too, because we're working right now. We are on R&D team here at Obsidian Central. We're working on the Craftsman composite cock, made out of the finest composite and polymer material.
No, and to add to Obsidian's point, you know when the functions are range from like you have a damn sex bot that can do things like spin while you're in it, and you can have the most what does he say, splendiferous nuts you've ever had in your life. So I mean, I don't know, man.
It's gonna
be huge. Michael Grande, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that.
And again, it's not that I'm advocating the shit, but you gotta know what's out here, man. You gotta know, because when push comes to shove and the shit happens and you see it happening, yeah, you can say whatever you want to say right now. You know, it's just like motherfuckers didn't think Uggs was gonna take off or Crocs.
David Monroe is asking, did SKC get him a Yumi too? No, actually, he didn't just go get one. All this time when he's been talking about his Asian wife, that's her. That's been her all this time.
I already had the womb tech and everything.
Yeah, he had us under the impression that she was real. He just recently came out the closet, and then that's his wife.
Yeah, she's called Yami, David. Yami.
Oh man, that's a good rumor to get started.
Yeah,
yeah. People are gonna run with that.
I knew it. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I put the link in the chat if anybody else want to come up and have some words. We're wrapping it up at 12, so last call if you want to come up and say a little something.
But seriously, I mean, right now is a very rudimentary state, but within the next, I mean, you just think about, for example, video gaming. Just think about video gaming 20 years ago. You know, 1999, 2000, thereabout. So just think about how far it's advanced in every way in just the past 20 years. Think about computing. You know, we didn't even have smartphones 20 years ago. We barely had phones that could text. We were still using Sky pagers. So, I mean, you know, the tech, and then you got Moore's Law. So, I mean, my guess is what's getting ready to come down the pike in the next 20 years or less. Yeah. A lot of going to be very angry.
And then I'm going to get with.
But there is hope, though. There is hope for the ladies. I mean, because I know, a lot of ladies are going to be feeling some kind of way, and it's understandable, A lot of guys are just going to kind of disappear, and I mean, they really won't have a reason to leave out the house after that. That is understandable. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I'm putting my money with Zero, because we talk behind the scenes, and once the dolls become sentient, and we can not sentient, but we can really program them. I want him to be the head of the programming team that does Order 68. Order 68, where they just get rid of all the women just one day.
That's Order 66, by the way.
No, it's going to be Order 68.
What about Order 9?
Okay.
Well, that's after Order 68. But Order 68, yeah, he just gonna program them all one day. Just the eyes gonna turn red, and it's over for all feminism and everything.
Well, I mean, for the ladies, we got something there because we over here at the Obsidian Radio Cyberdyne Systems over here at R&D department, we're working on something right now, and we're gonna give you a sneak peek right here on the Bernard Riley Grown Man Hour. For the ladies listening right now, we're going to give you a sneak peek. And here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to unveil the Jawline Niggerbot. That's right, ladies. You've been waiting for it, and it's finally here. The wave of the future. All that big, juicy cock. Our own Jawline Niggerbot. Nice and dumb the way you like them too. You don't need any advanced AI. After all, you always say that nigga was fine until he opened his mouth. It's the Jawline Niggerbot.
Why is that 80s music playing?
Oh man, I would love that. I would love that.
It's gonna be bad for women because no matter what the dude bot ends up being, it's only gonna last 6 months before they go. They're just gonna fucking ask him one day, "Can you work? Can you get a job?" Mm-hmm. And they gonna throw his ass in the closet and hit the off button.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah.
They wanted to go to work and bring.
Yeah, they gonna let that motherfucker to work.
I would program that bot zero with all these 4-letter hood words.
Swag. I keep it 100. Real fucking Pookie bot. Motherfucking Pookie bot will be the number one seller.
Keep this wood. Real talk.
It's the Jawline Niggerbot.
Still speaks at a 3rd grade level.
Right. Hey, she every time she asks him something, he just go right.
True.
She say, hey, I'm gonna power this motherfucker. As soon as she power him up, he be like 100.
Calibrating. Calibrating ignorance.
And he said facts.
Oh man. See, my list is coming in useful zero. My list of 4-letter hood words. So it can say stay in your lane. It can say bust down.
Right.
Cook. Goat.
and most of all, and the main phrase that it can definitely say, and you got to hear that. Where's my music? I got to play the right.
Oh shit!
The right tone. Get the right tone.
Even I put him on fucking 80s music again, bro. That's some retro shit, man. That shit took me out.
but we gotta have the right appropriate music because the Jawline Niggerbot will be able to say. It'll be able to talk to you, ladies, with all that masculine energy.
There you go.
Facts.
If niggas think this is outlandish, keep in mind that motherfuckers is out here selling pheromone soap.
Yep.
Okay?
What?
In real life.
What?
In real life, nigga.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that niggas are taking the Axe body spray commercial to the next level,
bro?
With the fucking pheromone soap.
PUA niggas out here selling pheromone soap. I'm not bullshitting.
Real talk.
Real talk, fake intentions.
Oh shit. MOT, we was about to wrap it up at 12. I don't know if it was something specific you wanted to say when you came up. You just came up to just kick it. If it's something you wanted to get off real quick, you can go ahead and do that. We are wrapping it up in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Nah, man, you can bring me on for a one-on-one one day though.
Oh, definitely want to do that. Yeah,
I know what I'm gonna call the
drop your email in the back chat, MOT.
I'm keeping that jawline.
I know what I'm gonna call my Negro bot. He gonna be called the pipe down goat.
Pipe goat.
Because making
real wood.
Real wood.
Making sex bots for black women would be very. Now, see, if we were talking about white or Asian women, that would be different. The AI would be much more sophisticated. But since black women, they don't really give a shit about that. You just need a rudimentary. You know what you need. Remember the dolls back in the day? You pull the string and you let it go.
Wow.
You really need
The CSA nigga bot.
But on a serious tip,
bust down boss.
On a serious tip, what's really going to push the sales of them shits though is the LGBT community. They're going to be buying like both sexes and shit. But again, I think all races are going to fuck with the Pookie bot. I'm telling you, it's going to be the biggest seller. It's going to be the biggest seller. It's going to be Pookie bot. That nigga is going to be in there. Like, I had a bad day at work. Bitch ass niggas. Like, he just got pre-programmed responses.
Oh man, I'm a name of
You know, you have like that automatic vacuum that cleans up around the house. You can have like the auto Pookie bot going around saying dumb shit around the house.
He just walk around the crib. He programmed to make her feel good and shit. He walk past the fat bitch and be like, that ass though.
Shorty's still thick though.
Right.
You, thank you for the super chat. He says late to the chat, but my kind of topic. Thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate you.
Now, be honest, I don't want to think about fat bitches and nigga bots because that's just disgusting. I don't even think they should be able to partake in the industry. You know, I think that's like robot abuse, and that's when I will agree with the feminists.
You said robot abuse.
Yeah, because you know the feminists had when they were working on the technology in America, feminism came in and was like, you have to put in a friend zone algorithm. Like they want motherfuckers, they want their sex bot to friend zone them or say no.
I broke him.
Yeah. So America just stopped working on the shit.
That is stupid. Only way I could say, well, I mean, okay, if y'all saw the movie, I think it came out in like 2001 or 3 called Artificial Intelligence. They did make a robot on there that the technology was just so to where the robot actually had the ability to love, and it was a debate at the beginning of the movie, like, well, would it be abuse if you make it too damn human like? You could abuse it, you know, if it becomes that sentient. But to talk about putting the friend zone thing in there,
but keep in mind that these aren't sentient. They're just sex toys. That's all it is. Masturbatory.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm saying
feminism was like, you have to make it friend zone you.
I'm like, you can't give consciousness to inorganic matter, but they're gonna try.
Yeah. In the movie, I think they somehow reached that point, so it became a philosophical debate. But we ain't damn near there to where they need to be talking about. They got to be able to make a choice. Oh man, that's
all I got to say. All I got to say is hell fucking Ultron. As soon as you motherfuckers try to do that shit, we're all fucked.
Well, Zero. Just a question for your Pookie bot. Does he come with Jordans?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
That nigga come with a shoe collection out this bitch.
Oh yeah, Tim's, Jordans, Tim's. He got the hat in the back. He's got his hoodie. By the way, hey, Supreme King Coon, did you hear the latest ad that we got here on the show? Because we do have
sponsors now.
Oh yeah, I heard it, man. The onesie.
Yeah, you heard about that? MOT
yeah,
hoodie onesie.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, well,
A hoodie onesie.
A hoodie onesie.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a double because we we went a couple hours without playing any ads. So we do have a couple ads we got to play. So here's the first one.
Wait, hold on. Before you play that ad, I'm gonna read this super chat, and we're gonna play both of those ads, and then we're gonna call it a show after those ads play. So I'm gonna read the super chat from, let's see, Osama Abdu says, Bernard, you're on the 2020 Heat Seekers Black Manosphere top prospect list. Oh man, is the hardest working cat in the Black Manosphere yeah, Black Manosphere BM. I guess that's what that means. He is everywhere. Keep it up, fam. Thank you very much for that, Osama Abdu. Thanks for the super chat. And with that, we're gonna pass it to old man. He's gonna take us out with 2 commercial ads, if I'm not mistaken. So
and now a word from our sponsor. This exciting episode of the Obsidian Radio Zoomcast comes courtesy of the Masculine Energy Limited Edition Hoodie Onesie. Hey, fellas, ever wonder how Mr. Dumb Jock Division stays looking so damn cool? Want to be just like him? Well, you're in luck because now, from the makers of Masculine Energy Drink, comes the one and only limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie. That's right, fellas. The limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie. Now you don't have to worry about being led by the hand by a man old enough to be the dad you never had, taking you to the men's store you've never been to help buy your very first suit at damn near 35. You can just jump right into your limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie.
Why is he zipping it?
Trick anywhere. Right, fellas. It's the dart-eared cap, hoodie, and onesie all in one. The limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie.
Why does he keep zipping it?
All year round and look like the damn fool that you are. Comes complete with soft, cuddly, built-in booties, so you don't need those cumbersome Tims or Jordans. And you won't have to worry about going potty because the limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie has that snapback bottom for when you gotta go. Get your limited edition Masculine Energy Hoodie Onesie at all fine retail outlets for man boys like you, or call 1-800 Masculine Energy.
Nigga, that zipper is killing me.
And thank you.
Yo, wow.
Wait. So, Obsidian, I got a question about this product.
You love me. We're a happy family with a great big.
What the fuck?
This is the greatest show on earth, man.
I quit.
Hey, I just wanted to jump on for like 30 seconds and then I'll jump right back off. I just wanted to run something by Obsidian real quick. Oh man, what's good, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, so now you remember our conversation that we had on the O'Shea channel about what, 7-8 months ago?
Yeah.
And we were having the conversation, and I told you because you asked about my timeline at that time, and I was having the conversation about how you're going to start seeing a lot more homeless women, and especially you're going to start to see attractive homeless women.
Yeah.
Right. And you had asked me what my timeline was, right? Ain't I right on time again?
Well. As a matter of fact, I got something in the barrel waiting to go. and I'm going to get into it, but I can't do it right now. I gotta get into it. But yeah. I mean, just I don't know. I'm considering doing it for the Saturday morning podcast live show. I may do it then, and so stay tuned. I'll probably be on Mixler, and we'll definitely come back and talk about it. But I got to get to this other ad because the sponsors are very, very particular about these sort of things. So while you're here, you like this one, Keith. Check this out, y'all. And now, a word from our sponsor. This exciting episode of the Obsidian Radio Zoomcast comes courtesy of the Derek Jackson Coronavirus Sale. Hello, ladies. For years, you swooned to his message of inspiration, affirmation, and uplift. And that's saying quite a lot, since quite a few of you ladies are hefty. But now, while you're cooped up in the house on quarantine alone and pathetic, you can get the one, the only self-love ambassador. All to yourself, because now he's putting on the Derek Jackson Coronavirus Sale. That's right, ladies. If you buy one book, you get a whole trunk load of books free. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the man for all cuffing season himself hawk his best-selling book that appears on no list anyway for a whole minute yourself. Take it away, Derek.
I go into full detail about that in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. So if you want to know more about that, click the link in the caption. I just extended the 50% off sale.
Yeah.
I go in full detail about that in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. Link in the caption. So get it 50% off if you haven't yet, because that ends soon. Now, that type of man, what he's attracted to, what he's looking for, what mentally piques his interest and stimulates him, if you want to know all about that, I go in full detail about it in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. And the sale that I extended for 50% off.
Don't forget your crown.
But it ends soon. Now, that type of guy, I go in more detail about it. Call him Mr. Right in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. And I just extended the 50% off sale, so get it at the link in the caption if you haven't yet. That guy looks like and what he's attracted to. Comments, man. Again, Don't Forget Your Crown, 50% off sale just got extended at the link in the caption. Check out like what you look for in that type of man. I go in full detail about him in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. And I extended the 50% off sale at the link in the caption, so click it whenever you see it. 6 steps back and it just took 3 steps forward. You got to protect it. I stay protected with a relationship membrane. I explain that concept in one of my chapters.
Membrane?
Get it at the link in the caption if you haven't yet.
What a minute, man. The Derek Jackson Coronavirus. Now,
man,
some self-love for your huge ass. Hey, Derek Jackson, you bastard. I read your book. Yes.
This nigga said relationship.
We're the wrong business, man.
bro, you know what? That shit is deja vu. I swear to God. So last night, after I'm chilling with my lady friend, I fire up some good indica. I know old man approves of the indica.
Oh, yeah.
So I fire up a good indica and I start playing some Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
And on Grand Theft Auto, while you're driving through the city, you can listen to radio stations, right?
Yeah.
And, they always got these crazy ass commercials that come on the radio station. And I remember thinking last night, I wonder who are the crazy motherfuckers that make these crazy ass commercials on Grand Theft Auto. Now I'm thinking, oh man, do you write those fucking commercials that you listen to on Grand Theft Auto? Because that's what that shit sounded like, bro. That shit was hilarious.
I wish I did. I'd have a lot more money. But some people did think that this was like they honestly thought that this was Grand Theft Auto that I used. They didn't.
You know what I'm gonna start calling you? You're the Dick Dietrich of the manosphere. You remember this show called Dick Dietrich?
Oh yeah.
Late night it was like this. For those who don't know, it was like a parody of late night shows, and he would parody Jerry Springer. Basically, it's called Dick Dietrich. Shit's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I just get ideas from all kind of places. Now guys are sending me ideas and pitches for all kind of like ads and stuff. So I'm gonna have a ball the rest of this year on lockdown with coronavirus. I'll just be making ads after ad after ad. You know.
They need to have. I mean, we got some pretty creative men in the manosphere. They need to have that artwork. You know, in the GTA 5, how on the download screen you have like the chick with the lollipop and shit. You know, someone needs to create like artwork. Like you got the commercial. Someone needs to create with the daggle with the lollipop. You know, the chick bent over. You know, in the alley. You know, with the Suburban and shit. Just have a great parody, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
for those of you, go ahead, Zero. You got it.
No, I'm fucking. Go ahead, man.
For those of you who didn't watch the show me and Obsidian did on Derek Jackson, we reviewed and critiqued the advice he was giving in like 5 of his videos, and we noticed at the end of every video he was like, "Hey, and I just extended that 50% off sale." So he's like, "Damn, you just keep extending the 50% off sale." So we went back.
When does the regular prices come in, nigga?
Yeah. You've been doing that.
Are you ever gonna make a profit off this shit?
Yeah, it's like every video, no matter whether the video was yesterday or 3 months ago, he's like, "Hey, I just extended that 50% off sale, so make sure you go and grab." I'm like, "Nigga, that's been the same 50% off sale since January."
Now, what's funny, when the ad was playing, now I was playing the other ads, the sisters was in the chat room cracking up too. But when I played that Derek Jackson ad, they got real quiet.
Real quiet.
You can't be coming after St. Jackson on them. You can't come after St. Jackson. They don't play that.
Okay, so Zero. So Zero. We got it.
Relationship membrane, nigga. That shit stuck with me forever.
So Zero, Obsidian. Man, do you know how much money you could make on your Pookie bot that's fashioned after Derek Jackson?
Oh my god!
You gonna give away my secret, man? Because I got a secret special limited edition coming out in a minute.
I bet, old man. You know how if you work out and you like to box, you know how you can go to Dick's and buy that fucking boxing dummy, that dude, that you just fill with water at the bottom, and he's shaped like a dude torso. Obsidian has a Derek Jackson fucking torso that he fucking hits in his garage and shit.
Probably.
Oh man!
Oh my god! Yeah, that's just.
You feel like styrofoam bricks and like Derek Jackson and shit. Yeah, I can see you doing that.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna do a whole line of products just for Derek Jackson. And I don't want to get into what they are right now, but we're going to do, just like we got a line of Masculine Energy Project, we're going to do a whole line of Derek Jackson products too.
And here's your Derek Jackson dartboard.
Yep. We're going to do that. We're going to do it all. And we're going to have the Jawline, Nigga Bot, Pookie Bot, and Swag Bot. All of that coming down the pipe.
That it is.
Hey, here's your Pookie toy. Here's your Pookie toy. So you remember as a kid, you had that little box that you would just like crank the thing and it would make the little noise, doom, da doom, da doom, da doom, da doom, da doom, da doom, and then it would pop out a clown. Well, on this one, pops out a Pookie with a pistol.
Yeah. I mean, but when you crank the bot, it plays like the Riding Dirty fucking thing.
It plays twerking music.
Yeah.
He said twerking music.
Swagbot runs Who Got More Bitches.exe.
The fucking box plays fucking the Migos. It plays Bad Bitch by the Migos.
God damn.
So could you make a whole Swagbot club?
Yeah. A club with nothing but swag bots inside and the women just walk in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're going to have fucking motorcycle jackets.
Yo, the Derek Jackson comes with the programs BFF, blackfemalefuckery.exe, and problack.exe and nigga.exe.
Well, instead of you have the murderers of the motorcycle clubs, the 1%ers, theirs is just going to say -5.
Yeah. -5 on it.
I could see that. I could see a Swagbot club And then Tommy Sotomayor is still having to have to cover fights that happen at the Swag Bike Club.
There will always be a fucking
these
fight at the
niggas are
fucking
crazy.
Daggle cookout. Always.
Oh man!
All right,
hey,
Chad.
does
All right,
anybody
Chad.
know any information about that Sansaray stuff? I mean, I
What?
heard that
What?
Sotomayor is doing a thing on it, but
What?
I heard
anybody
that it
confirm?
wasn't true. I mean, well, I can't say it. Some people in the chat earlier in the show said that it wasn't true. I don't know if they were giving their opinion or stating a fact. I know when Nyla was doing something on it, it wasn't confirmed. So she was just, shooting from the hip, but we don't know. And I'll just leave it at that.
Does Chick really kill herself, bro?
It sounds like a rumor at this point, so I can't.
Well, somebody said that she committed suicide is actually on her Facebook.
Damn.
I guess that's the ultimate attention grab.
Hey, whoa, hold on. If it's true, it's a possibility that it's true. So we ain't about to be on record laughing at a suicide if it's true. But if we find out that it's fake and she actually posted that, then we're gonna have a field day with it. But as of right now, we gotta hope. We can't.
Who is she? Somebody like, who is she?
Oh, you don't know? Yeah, she's a black female YouTuber. She's been in not necessarily in this space, but kind of in this space for a while. She got like 50,000 subs. She be talking about similar topics that go on here. She's probably.
Is she like? I mean, you say laughing like is she supposed to be like the enemy of the state? Is she like? I mean, is she manosphere? I mean, what?
Oh no. She's part of the sisterhood. I guess that will sum it up.
The sisterhood or the sisterhood?
Both. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't make a difference,
Yeah, all I'm saying is if it is true, then ain't nothing, it's not a laughing matter. But in the event that she posted that, and if it comes out that she's alive, but she's letting the rumors circulate this long without clearing it up, then yeah, we're gonna talk about her for attention seeking. But in the event that
that's fucking insanity.
Yeah, but in the event that is true that she did commit suicide, that ain't a laughing matter. So yeah, so that's why I'm just saying let's pump the brakes and wait till we know what happened.
Bernie, I think you need to check your email.
I need to check my email.
Yeah.
Okay, will do. Is it information in that email?
Yeah.
All right.
But to kind of piggyback it though, I think it still is a symptom of a larger issue, man. I think, and let me know if I cross the line. I think you're going to see a lot more of that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see a lot. Again, this is again going back to the conversation me and the old man were having back in the day. They're on self-destruct mode, man. I told you this shit was going to happen, man. Didn't I say this, old man?
Yep.
You're going to see that's why I always equated it to Jack holding on to that little fucking raft, and how all these conversations that they're arguing back and forth with the manosphere were really them in self-destruct mode because they saw the writing on the wall. That's what all these conversations, they wouldn't be in these spaces or give a fuck about what you guys are talking about if they didn't feel threatened. That's why they were here. And I've been saying that this type of thing that happens here, or guilty. So now they know it's no more light at the end of the tunnel. They know that it's over. Like my favorite line with Obsidian was, "It's over. All this, y'all trying to fix it. It's over." This was back when Obsidian still had hope. And, he would always say, Keith, this is what your thought is. And he would say how he was, he still had hope. And I said, you're going to get, it's going to take you a few months, but you'll finally get to the point that I am and understand that it's over. There is no going back. And now they understand it. This is why you see all these superstar women who are unhappy, because they understand they can't go back. It's over for them. They will never be as beautiful. They will never be as one. Do you understand that type of attention is a drug? Do you understand your entire life? You've basically had a red carpet laid out at your feet. Everything has been made easier for you. And all of a sudden, as a grown person, 35 years into your life just gets exponentially harder. And you realize that the reason that your life was so easy is because of what you look like. And you're never going to get that again. And they don't know how to handle that shit. and it causes them to self-destruct. So yes, you're going to see a lot more suicides. You're going to see a lot more women and beautiful women on the street simply because everybody's struggling. You're going to see this fucking bubble when it comes to these OnlyFans because there's only so much money to go around. You're going to see a drop in the sugar daddy market because dudes ain't making money like that. A lot of people lost their jobs. It impacts everything. So people are tighter with their money. So females are not going to be getting the cheddar biscuits. They're already at home now. So they're not getting attention. They're not getting free cheddar biscuits. The wall is approaching or it's gone. The bot is self-destructing, man. And it's going to get worse, a lot worse.
Yeah, I just checked my email, and the email was a link to her Facebook page. I started to share it, but I just opted not to. But it appears that it's real. It appears that it's real. She actually did commit suicide. So
that's when shit gets overwhelming for you. So the bubble is about to burst. By this summer, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be. Just think about now. You're coming up on basically where people's reserves are done, right? Because what would it say? The most people maybe have a couple of weeks, of reserves if they were to lose their job. Now people can't even rely on unemployment, and it's a lot of women who are in the service industries who are impacted by this shit. Like even in Dallas, ain't coming back. Like even in Dallas, like even these high-end boutiques and jazzercise studios. These fine women are on the news. Yeah, I lost my business. I opened this studio. Yoga shit and jazzercise and all this shit, right? So they're done too. Now those sugar daddies that were propping them up are done. It's over, man. So again, it's gonna get bad out here. You're gonna see a lot more manosphere reporting on this, man. That's my prediction, bro.
And I predicted something like this would matter seeing somebody self-destruct like that publicly. That something like that it would end. I said this shit a couple years ago. This is why I never said anything.
MOT, your volume just dropped down. MOT.
You just dove to Atlantis, player.
Yeah, you just. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm let me go with this, but I'm gonna say this last thing, and I gotta get back. But they basically thought they could do what their mothers did, right? And we talk about the stepdaddy market, and they could talk shit to men. They basically thought they could do what their mothers did. Instead of being a good asset to men, they just made a bad bet at the bad time where the fucking market, all the feminism and the Me Too, this was a fuck of a time to do all that man-hating shit when the world is about to end. Now men have seen, all the blinders off at a time where the world is ending, so they're on some fuck you shit. So yes, there's going to be a lot of homelessness and a lot more suicides. And I'll let y'all talk about me as I'm going. Thank you again, Bernard.
Yeah, thanks, man. Always appreciate your perspective. You know that. We got
no doubt.
Got to get you in for a one-on-one sooner or later. But,
no doubt. Oh man, always love, bro.
Thank you.
Boom.
But yeah, I want to get a little bit more information on the situation with what seems to be the late Miss Sansa Smith. So we'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, I don't. As of right now, I still don't believe it.
I mean, email them the link, Obsidian. I mean, people can prank on Facebook, and I mean, I've seen that happen. Somebody pretend like they it seems as if it's true, but I mean, it could still be bullshit. But as of right now, it's enough to move forward and just believe that is the case, that she actually did commit suicide. It's enough for me to go ahead and believe it. So I don't know. That's crazy. I think she had an adult daughter and a young kid that probably had to be 2 or 3 years old, right? Obsidian? Yeah. So I mean, that's sad. That's sad. That's all I got on that. Yeah.
Of course, family and whatnot are trying to deal with all this. So to the extent that we can, ferret things out, we'll see. Yeah.
I have to agree with what Panther guy said though.
What is that?
He says,
get ready for the. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Okay, where the hell is it? Get ready, fam. The entire manosphere will be under attack if this. Yeah, okay. I mean that's possible, but look, we ain't about to make this about us. Like, let's. We gotta actually. I was about to get off the air at 12 noon, and in the name of decency, because somebody gonna ultimately say something stupid, and I don't want it on my show. We about to go and get off the air now. Let's not make this about us and with how they gonna, let's there we yeah. All right, that's a wrap. We're gonna call it a show, fellas. We're gonna call it a show. This was a great show. Aside from the news that we just got at the end of the show, this was a great show. Zero, like I said, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a video down a stream down the road.
I'll be on time next time.
Yeah. When you're gonna basically go over what you went over in your video when you broke down the whole history of feminism. I thought that was real good. So yeah, we're gonna get back at it. I'll be emailing you. I'll probably be emailing you too, Obsidian, for a show idea, maybe for tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
So with that said, we are up out of here. Thank you for everybody who liked the video, shared the video, watched the video, watched the video and didn't hit the like button. All of that. Everybody who sent the super chat, cash app, whatever, all of that. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. We up out of here. Thanks.
Thank you.